Good evening, good morrow, and good day, and welcome to another edition of the Manylands campaign here on Slice and Dice. It is time today for session 18, and we left things on a bit of a cliffhanger before the action was about to start. The end of the last session. 19. Yeah. Saying it's 19. Of course it's session 19. Well, I'm glad somebody's keeping track rather than me, because
maths!
It's obviously been a long day. Anyway, before we kick off with today's session, first things first, let's go to our competition, which we've been running throughout the week with our friends at Beholder's Gaze. Hello, everyone. I'd like to join in.
I left my dice in the other room, so if I was the winner, that would be great.
Okay. I'm afraid you're not the winner because I have already rolled for it. But thanks for entering, and you could win the next set. You never know. And Marshall, apologies to Marshall and to Bart and to DK. Well, pretty much all of you, apart from Dan, who respected the rules, who hasn't won this time. But I can now reveal that the winner of our lovely set of blue dice, now packed up neatly in this bag, to be sent along with the rest of the items, courtesy of our friends at Beholder's Gaze, goes to, from Twitter, @Kleiner, or Chaz Gilbert. Chaz, thank you very much for entering. Hey. You are the winner, well done.
Good Chaz.
Okay, so get in touch with us, give us your address details, and we'll send those over to you as soon as physically possible.
And
exactly.
If you're watching today and you want me to break in the dice because I left mine in the other room, I'm fine with this. That'd be great.
It's okay, we've got plenty of spares. I've got plenty of spare dice. I have more dice since last week, thanks to Marshall.
Can I borrow the D20 that keeps critting on me?
You can borrow one of the new ones though. I've got some new red dice, courtesy of the Essentials kit, which Marshall sold to me. So you're welcome to use that.
If I had advice on anything, I should borrow it.
Okay, so does anyone else have any announcements before we begin today? No. You guys all good? We're all good? I should just say that, so Dan's back! Yay! With Fleeting Look, who unfortunately is missing out on his first combat, but you'll be back in soon enough, don't you worry. And we'll be updating you what's happened in the last session with my little recap coming right up. Also, Midge is with us, our guest star for today. He started with us last week. He'll be here shortly. His train has gone the wrong way, but he'll be here as soon as possible. So in the meantime, I'll fill in his stead, in his kind of Sean Bean style. Anyway, without any further ado, let's jump into session 19. Check that, 19. Of Slice and Dice. I've been keeping track of this campaign. I obviously pay so much attention. Here we go. Let's jump in. Okay, guys, so last time on the Manylands campaign, you guys were looking into Leeds, looking for a courier by name of Dean Fringe, who supposedly sold his ox and cart to some travelling adventurers who had in their possession a statue. And let's face it, that's kind of matches the description of the people that you've been looking for, the abductors of Lady Helene Grenforth, who, as you know, has been turned to stone by a basilisk. So, in trying to find him, it seemed that there was another little plot thread that seemed to be moving in the same direction, and that was apparently a werewolf had been on the loose around Hilberg, had been slaughtering the sheep at the farm, and so you're on the intel, the dubious intel from your friend Turren Bluebeard, that apparently Dean Fringe or somebody matching his description had been spotted heading into the woods. You decided to follow that lead, entering into Half-Flight Forest and finding there a pack of wolves with their leader, a fearsome direwolf. Thanks to some quick-witted action from your party, and most of all from Leobrin's sleep spell, you managed to overcome your enemies and Brucon, leaving Brucon and the direwolf and two of the wolves still alive but asleep. Seth made short work of the direwolves in true Seth fashion. In fact, if you don't have inspiration already, you should have inspiration for committing that. For that, I just wanted to emphasise that was very in character. So thank you for doing that.
It's not in character.
History would dictate otherwise.
Oh, evening, Rich. Molossus says 67. Thanks for tuning in. Friend from Sunday and Wednesday games. Hi. Anyway, so you slaughtered the wolves and the dire wolf. Meanwhile, Malar picked up Brucon, and you also found within the pile of clothes in the clearing, you found one ornate-looking ring in this shape of it looked like a feather kind of curled around the ring, a silvery metallic ring, which I believe Malar still has hold of at this point. After finding that, after some discussion with your guide and paladin from the Order of the Broken Fang, Rexland Shortclaw, you decided that the best course of action would be to head to the farm and see what you could find there in regards to leads, and see if, basically, looking for tracks from the wolf or any sort of other information you can get about this wolf. So upon heading there, you found a lot of slaughtered sheep. You found a farmer who didn't speak very well. It was quite hard to understand. And then you also found, as the weather began to turn, rains began to come in, you also found woodland beings flocking to you and landing on various parts of your anatomy. Mostly on shoulders, to be clear. Mostly.
Brucon's underarm hair,
as you were
thoroughly ventilated, but other than that, everything PG-13.
Yes, PG-13 or yeah, definitely fine, definitely above board. You were trying to hatch a plan to lure the wolf out by getting Seth disguised as a sheep, which everyone except Seth wanted to go along with. Fortunately for Seth, that didn't transpire because just as the arguments continued, you heard a howl and a scream coming from the town. So you pegged it straight back into the town and found all the townsfolk trying to push their way out of the main gates and get away from this threat. And sure enough, in the market square before you, you found the werewolf itself looming over the corpse of, it looked like, as it turned out, one of the dwarven cultists of Fairfan who had been left slaughtered on the floor. You managed to, with the help of a new ally, Howland Cragmere, of House, a protector of House Bron, you managed to overcome this threat, and then decided that as this was your lead, you needed to find some other way of going forward. As Dean Fringe, it turns out, was in fact the werewolf. Plot welding, or arc welding. Arc welding, yeah. He was in fact the werewolf all along, but Malar decided to take the corpse to the Temple of the Eight and negotiated with Ventrix and agreed to come back in the morning to speak with Dead to try and get what information he can from Dean Fringe. Meanwhile, Seth also had a lead. He had been told of a meeting of a clandestine group, of which it was hinted, although not outrightly said, that he probably should go there on his own.
I rewatched.
Yes, you rewatched it.
No one told
he
me
didn't
to go
actually
alone.
say that. I think it was implied for sure.
Nope.
But anyway,
Rewatched.
you know, you're new to clandestine secretive groups. You know, it's fine. In your naivety, you decided to bring the rest of the party, apart from Fleeting Look and Howland's daughter Lainey, along to the meet at midnight, leaving the two of them to discuss various collective pronouns and such. Fleeting Look.
But this idea that Seth needs to have it explained to him that when having a clandestine meeting involving illegal operations, you don't just, it's not plus one.
I mean, you're singing from the same hymn sheet.
How else are
Okay.
you going to get new people if you don't bring plus ones?
But that's quite a slow process.
It's Countdown Fight Club.
Anyway, so with
So isn't it like a people smuggling thing? You're meant to bring plus ones, plus twos, plus threes.
So I've already got my arguments mixed ready for
Okay.
this.
so anyway, you head on over.
Really looking forward to the conversation.
You head on over to the meet, and you were told it was outside the mill. You head to the mill, but leaving your two non-dark vision allies, Malar and Howland, slightly behind with a torch. Don't want to be too conspicuous. While three of you moved on up ahead to the mill and found the door to the mill locked. There was no other entrance to speak of, and you surveyed the area. There seemed to be no activity around the area. So you decided that they must be inside the mill. So you managed to use Brucon's punching abilities to break in through the front door.
Use the old monk lockpick.
Use a pow! As the lockpicking did actually fail in this instance. You managed to get inside the mill, but just found it seemed a normal grain store and just a functioning mill. You did find, however, a trap door around to one side, and again found this was locked, but also Leobrin noticed some abjuration magic behind it. You tried to break through this door, but for some reason it just was too tough and you couldn't quite get through. And then what happened? You felt a magic coalescing around the three of you, which you managed to shake off. However, all the woodland beings that were attached to you then drifted off to sleep.
Oh no.
Yeah, why didn't they? Yeah, all right.
Yes, they drifted off to sleep because we kind of ended right there, so I didn't...
No, but I mean, why didn't it happen? Anyway, no. This is all just kind of displacement activity from my lingering resentment of fucking elves.
So yeah,
With you people.
because of the elves' abilities, it meant that they weren't susceptible to the sleep spell anyway. The dwarf was, but he was strong enough to overcome it by
Literally
1 hit point.
1 hit point.
As it
more
transpires, slightly more because of all the woodland beings soaking up
than- Yeah, exactly.
all of that hit
HP.
point.
Yeah.
Anyway, and it was at that point that we left it last week, because you felt this magic come over you, so you know that somebody was trying to cast a spell on you. I need everyone to roll initiative, please.
What a spell on you.
Go.
Not everyone
Oh,
but you.
it's all right, guys.
Yeah.
I've got this.
Aye.
I'm bringing up the rear.
Nice.
Natural 20.
Natural 20. That puts you on 20, 27, correct?
Yep.
27.
We're in.
If I'm second, I'm afraid.
So far, you're first.
If there's
I don't think anyone's going to outdo you in the party.
No,
so-
Correct.
if there's an enemy that's ahead of me, I'm
No.
afraid
What's
of them.
what's more disconcerting is the possibility that someone not in the party might outdo him. Like
Uh,
if someone in the party outdid him, that would be okay.
I can confirm on this occasion you are first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did anybody else get 20 or above?
No.
Lol.
Okay. Did anyone get between 15 and 20?
17.
17. Lovely job. 17. Anyone else?
Well, this is happening. I'm
Just-
squeeze behind you because the Oberon is in my bag.
Okay. I was going to say,
Stole
I do have the backup.
He didn't steal it, but he's the one who bought it.
Nothing like the real deal when it comes to Leobrin.
Located a Lego rock.
Anyway,
Yeah.
who's next? Anyone else between 15 and 20? No?
So I got
I-
mixed by the Leo.
I need to roll for Howland Cragmere before I forget. He's not between those
Doesn't he
numbers.
get advantage on?
He does, you're right, because of his Sentinel Shield. No, that was worse, that was a 1. So no, he's not within that
It was a valiant
bracket.
effort, though.
It was a valiant effort and well pointed out. He has a +1 on his dexterity, on his initiative, so
Why,
he's
I can
not
remember.
going to be that great. Anyway,
Pretty odd.
puts me there.
Don't worry, I know your stuff. Bullshit, sneak attack everywhere all the time,
Yeah.
followed by 600 feet of movement, none of which incurs an attack of opportunity.
Anyone between...
and
Yeah.
5, and a max hit point of 5.
Did anyone get
That's peak.
between 10 and 15?
Yes, Rukon got 11.
11, there you go. Anyone else? Oh, 11, can you roll off?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a 2.
Natural 1.
Oh, I was like, yeah, I got a 2. Oh, okay.
Race to the bottom.
Just accepts defeat and realises.
And we move on.
There's somewhere lower.
Okay, so that leaves... Mallow, what did you get?
2.
2. And what did you... Oh, you're obviously not in. Leo, sorry, Fleeting. You got 2, did you say?
You're not joining in yet.
You got 2, so Howland's
You
on
can't play with us yet.
before you.
That's right. There you go. You sit there. There you go.
There you go. Where am I going? Where's somewhere in there?
Look at you. This side of the door.
Sorry, I love your wand.
Thank
Which
you.
is great, because the 2 of you outside are both last.
We're keeping it completely 13.
No,
Alright.
it's not the one. It's Lego Man.
Bitten by a piece of radioactive Lego, he has the proportional strength and powers of Lego. He is Lego Man.
Lego Man!
If you are barefoot around him, he will fuck you
Now,
up.
of course,
Sorry, did I tread
Yeah,
on
you got it.
And I was like, when evil tries to escape, don't be there.
I think it would be remiss of me not to include, of course, the action camera. So let's bring that baby into play. Can you move him over to near to the mill
none Of the
there?
action.
Exactly. None.
No, I
of
can't
the
see
action.
a goddamn thing from here. So how are we on?
That's nice and square. Yeah.
Pretty good. Okay, so top of the order, Seth, you are first.
Cool. So I think I established last week I drew my rapier when I felt the sleep spell coming on me. So I'm going to be.
You can draw it now. You're going to drop it.
No, that's fine.
Okay, yeah.
Sorry, that's why I was saying.
I was going to say, because it's fine.
No, when the sleep spell was coming, we drew it, but I'm going to drop it. Hands going up. Like, look, we didn't come here to fight. We were invited. No one knocked, and we got door aggressive, but we didn't come here to fight.
Okay, can you make a persuasion check for me, please?
I have a lingering trauma associated with doors.
Every D&D campaign ever.
Yeah.
What was it? Persuasion.
Yes, please. 12.
Yeah.
Alrighty. You don't hear a voice respond to you just yet.
Cool.
It seems to be all quiet. There's no movement at all, actually, within the mill at this point. It seems to be very quiet and very still.
Cool. I'm gonna lower my hands, but I'm going to draw my dagger to my side and just prepare an action of if something comes in the room hostile or attacks anyone else, then going to attack.
Okay. Sounds good to me. Alright.
Sorry, am I where I am there?
Yeah, that's where you are.
I'll move slightly closer to the door.
You have to do that up as best you can.
So,
But I don't think there's anywhere on. I don't think there's a single square on that thing that Seth is not able to reach.
Also true.
It's like 10, 20 feet.
Yeah, exactly.
Not reach it.
Doing anything else on your turn? Obviously, it's, at least
No, I'm all good.
you're good. Okay.
It was try and make peace.
Okay, great. So, next up,
Break the habit of a lifetime.
Seth, in your mind, only you hear this. You hear, could you get your friends to leave? Because they are not welcome here. It's a feminine voice that you hear. Feminine and slight.
Ring of bullshit.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he managed to palm that one
Is it
off.
going alert? Is it going alert right now?
Yes, it is. Yes.
So I'm being targeted by a hostile creature.
Yes. Currently, as you hear this message, it then seems to fade.
Okay.
I forgot about that. Yes, of course. The alert, danger! It just goes alert, danger.
You've introduced an item.
And all of your things obviously.
Go to sleep.
Maybe.
You've introduced like the worst DM item ever. You've got to remember this forever.
I know. I hate it.
Cool, so I've said that, and then the alarm stops. So I'm gonna be like, sheath your magic and fists.
Brucon look like, how would I even go about doing that?
So tell your friends.
Then looks.
You should tell your friends to leave. You can reply to this message.
Okay.
Wait.
You can reply to this message.
New favourite NPC.
Cool, so I'll reply. I was like, do I have to say it out loud, or is it just in my head?
It's just in your head. It's just
Okay,
telepathically.
I'll tell them to leave. Give us a moment, and they'll leave and wait outside.
Okay.
Or further from outside.
Alrighty. That's their turn, which means next on initiative, Leobrin.
Yeah. I've said like, be cool.
I am cool.
Sheath magic.
Okay. We come in peace. End of turn.
And you're just looking up, and you can see beams above you. To do the mill. You can see the beams above you. You can see on
My
all
detect magic still up. Do I see anything else?
Yes, with detect magic. Yes, you do see. It looks to be some sort of illusion magic. It seems to be emanating from these statues above. These statues along the beams, like on the edges of these beams, and all of them, a bit of illusion magic coming from those.
I will keep looking at those while I'm saying, we come in peace.
Please don't hurt us.
Are we still in combat? Because we can only talk on our...
I would say that in this kind of situation, it's kind of free-flowing with dialogue to an extent, and I'll just tell you if it's too much.
Cool, then I'm going to say to them, I was like, guys, go wait outside of Mala. They sent a message magically.
Yes, they tried to put us asleep.
No, they sent one after that, just after that didn't work, saying to speak alone. If you guys go away with Mala outside, if I'm not there in 10 minutes, either go get help or
Move
come
on with
in
our
after me.
lives.
Is this like the incident with Malar, or is this your track record with voices in your head is not what one would call encouraging?
No, this one had an accent. Different. It's a different voice.
Speaking of, I look at Seth and see if I can see his magic item on him.
Ah, right, yes. Where is your magic items going? So you can see emanating from his vest. Got an illusion magic coming from his vest.
I left it in the cave after Mala got teleported. I've actually not checked for it since. I've heard the voice once, but I haven't checked for it since.
Since
I
he's
left it in
hearing
the cave.
voices, I am looking at him going,
it's you see. It seems to be. It's not any school of magic you can place.
But it's that.
But it's that you get that uneasy feeling again when you look directly at it, and it's in his hip pocket.
You get an uneasy feeling as you gaze at Seth's pelvis.
Yes, quite.
That's not an uncommon reaction.
Don't look at the rogue's pelvis. Never look at the rogue's
Just
pelvis.
glowing.
At this point, I will. I know this room is very small, but I will try and lean into Brucon and whisper to him. Mr. Seth still has his talking thing.
Don't make this hard
Yeah.
as it needs to be.
It begins. Brucon. Right, got it.
Whisper. Do we leave him alone?
Guys, go outside.
Howie, you good, Seth? You feeling fine and good?
I don't want to say the voice again now. Whoever just contacted me said to speak alone.
Is it someone you've spoken to before?
No.
Or is it? No?
No.
I would speculate that at this point in time.
Yeah, you'd be
It's
running.
not
You're running.
Mala
Yeah.
and
It's not the
Thingy
person
turn
who
up
invited me.
doorway.
I was going to say actually that I was going to cut and change to you guys outside because I think we're out of combat
that a
kind
wipe?
of. So wipe.
Got a dog
Meanwhile,
premiere.
outside, so Howland Cragmere and Mala, you're pegging it towards this mill as you've just seen a figure enter the mill. You start running over towards it, and out in front of you becomes a shadowy figure.
Can't sleep on them instead.
Shadowy figure, but under the torchlight you can see it's a copper dragonborn under a dark hood and cloak. And she says, "I think it is best that you leave.
No, it's not bad.
I would suggest that you go back to the inn and have a few drinks and forget this ever happened."
Our friends are in there. I don't think so.
Is it her or is it a different cop dragonborn that you've had an accent
Well, you wouldn't know it's not there.
to? Just checking because she has an accent now.
She has a sort of accent
She did
anyway,
before.
yes. It changes.
Nothing safer for your character's life than mocking the DM.
So
An
that
accent.
means that Howland needs to make a wisdom save. That's a natural one. With that, Howland grabs you by the arm and starts leading you straight towards the inn. I think it's best we go back to Trickle Inn, see how Laney's doing. And start being led that way. And I leave.
Speaking of Howland.
We'll skip back to you guys inside as you're being led away.
Howland is actually here. But on the plus, the way for you guys to see it is that the alarm has stopped.
Yeah.
We are no longer being targeted.
Yeah, but you're hearing voices
That
again.
ring does have a use.
I'm not going to keep it.
Yeah, you are.
So sneaky, alert, danger, alert. No.
That is the worst thing for a rogue, isn't it? Well, unless
Should it
you're
not be magically silenced?
Probably.
I feel like I'm sure
There's
there's a silence spell. Isn't there?
There is a silent spell, but it's a location, so it'd have
Yeah,
to...
so
Actually, I feel that if you are sneaking,
Come on
it's only when you're targeted.
it's only when you're targeted. So if you're sneaking, you should.
I can never hide in combat though.
That's a fair point. Well, okay.
So with that,
That's
yes, you're led away. You're led away by Howland Cragmere, just holding your arm. Are you going to sort of try and fight him?
No, my friends, they're in the. What are you doing? No, this is inappropriate.
Okay, so welcome, Mitch. Come sit down. Hello.
Inappropriate touching. No.
Just in time for you, sir, to make a contested grapple check
Yeah.
against Mala.
You weren't here for 10 minutes and already you're dragging
Yeah.
away into
And you're now
sections.
naked mud wrestling with the giant elephant. man.
Don't wait up, guys.
Oh, you. I mean, just don't roll badly.
He's got a
Chili
2.
lime soul.
Hang on, I've got a modifier for
He's
that.
strong.
He's got
What did I
4.
say? You're a Loxodon. Grapples, strength check, right?
Yeah, athletics or
Oh my god.
They
It's
down
on
to
the
our
dice.
modifiers.
The race to the
Oh,
bottom.
Let's strip
they both
down
got
to our
twos.
modifiers, shall we?
So it depends on what their modifiers are. Let's see.
How do you both roll 2s?
Athletics is +5 for Howland because I looked it up. And
Yes.
Mala, it's
+2.
+2.
Ooh.
With that, you are frog marched away, obviously half speed. Still professor, no! Being led back
Peace
towards
offering about the sweets.
you're being led back towards the trickle inn, and you'll continue to do
Right.
so until the spell is broken, or until you can break free of the spell.
I think it's wise that we go back for a pint. I think. Just struck me as an idea.
The alarm has stopped.
I haven't heard it. I'm all the way over there.
You're close enough to hear it.
Yeah, you heard it briefly. It did go, alert! Danger! Alert!
He's not pulling me off. He's dragging me away.
We're either dead or it's
Right, meanwhile, in...
what does happen if
Yes, this is a carry-on campaign.
You're not in danger
It
anymore.
goes, alert, danger, danger, alert, dead, dead,
Yeah, alert,
dead.
you died. Conker, you're dead.
Meanwhile, inside, the three of you are still inside as you two seem to have been taken care of for now. What are you doing? What are you doing,
Telling
chaps?
them, go join
Are we-
that.
Definitely not your old friend.
No, it's not that. I've
Are we out of-
not heard that.
so we're out of
since
initiative, are we?
since
Yeah, we're out of initiative. That was the shortest initiative we've ever had.
Insight.
Well, I'm
Insight against him versus your deception, this will be.
That's definitely where I want to insight this shit. There's a 10.
12.
Oh! He seems very persuasive. He seems to be pretty honest. You've never had a reason to second guess Seth that you can remember at this time.
Well, that's very good.
Go
kind of
join that
non-specific.
outside. If I'm not there in 10 minutes.
It's good you're
Come
hearing
in.
different voices.
It
Yes.
seems more like a spell from the same person that cast the sleep spell on us.
Cool. They will have you alone. And we leave.
Brucon slaps him on the arse as he was going. They're all yours, baby, and just marches out and goes. Scream if you need help.
Enjoy your shadow orgy.
If I need help, you will hear alert danger. Apparently.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
So
Yeah, if you hear that, come in.
Brucon has some prior experience about nighttime trysts, so he's assuming that there can only, as far as he's concerned, there's only one sensible, logical reason why a person might want to meet another person in an abandoned building alone late at night without any witnesses, and he's just
You
kind
need to
of.
explore your character more in long rests.
You've got to ask first, baby.
Buy me
Consent, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Consent's very important. Cool, yeah. Okay, so Brucon marches out after Leo and does a as he leaves.
And as you two leave, you do notice just on the, sort of the edge of your dark vision, you see a cloaked figure just move towards the outbuilding for the mill, just ahead of you and to one side.
Yeah, and as Brucon goes past, he goes, and then just carries on.
Classic, brilliant. Okay. Are we alone now?
That's a message again.
Yeah.
Yes, it's just me in here.
Okay. And with that,
What are you wearing?
from above, you see a diminutive figure drop down from the rafters down to you.
Expect the above.
Oh yes, drop from above.
Yeah,
Batman
so
style, down to the ground. And before you, you see she pulls back the cloak, and you recognise this as Belle Quigley, the one of the two gnomes from the general store, Bits and Pieces. She, at this point, wearing very tight-fitting leather trousers, along with just general dark clothing, but very fashionable. And you can see, like her cloak in particular, this very ruby red,
From the
velvety-looking
that sold
cloak.
the items to.
The very same.
Okay.
The French accent.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
accent.
Are you sketching that cape design down to sort of?
I haven't seen it.
Oh no,
We're gone.
Goes-
I know.
comes out.
I'm
She jumps
out of
down.
character disappointed.
I see you have been informed about the meeting of the Moonrunners. We are not best pleased that you have brought others who have not been invited to this meeting.
To be fair, we could all see. Like, we were in town for an hour before we were told about this in 3 different places. It wasn't. It didn't seem too secret.
Man,
You can make a little. Let's make this because for Sass. Let's make an intimidation check.
8.
She just laughs a little bit at you. Just chuckles.
Were there those like perforated poster stubs?
Well, obviously there are those in town who recognize you as somebody who has skills that we could benefit from.
I give you credit though. One of them wasn't you. I had no idea I'd be seeing you again. Yeah.
Well, you know, some of us have to demonstrate some subtlety, do we not?
You should tell the others that.
At this point, you see a cloaked.
Guy stages an illegal rave in a meeting place at night.
You see
lecturing someone on something.
You see one cloaked figure entering just on your periphery. You see enter through the front door and is alert, and then he just disappears again. Like, no, it's not hostile. It's okay. And you see, she pulls back the hood, and it is in fact the Copper Dragonborn, who you've yet to get a name from, who you've known since the first session. And she said, she comes up to you, just grabs you immediately, just by the scruff of the neck, and she goes, "What do you think you're doing, bringing others here?"
Interesting new accent.
Yes. Are you mocking me? That wasn't in game.
No. But,
Meta.
Gonna say.
Fucking fourth wall.
So you didn't say to come alone, and considering the people we're looking for, it didn't seem safe to come to here alone.
I thought when we first met that perhaps you would know that when secret groups meet, that perhaps it is not a bring +1 event.
Who are we looking for? Someone that's trying to get someone out of the city. What do? You get people out the city. Who would probably be here? The people we're looking for, who are in a large group and have kidnapped someone. I'm not going to fight them all by myself. So if they were here, I do need help in helping to find that kidnapped victim.
Make a persuasion check.
All by myself.
23.
23. She considers your proposition for the moment, and actually Belle sort of butts in. She goes, "Oh well, we are all about helping others to move from one place to another. We move items from one place to another." She goes, "Shut up."
Logic for the win.
If you wish to call on the help of the Moon Runners, then you will need to prove yourself to the Moon Runners. If you wish to be in our ranks and call on our aid, you need to do something for us.
Don't be a side quest.
I think that ship's already sailed, mate.
Too late. Unfortunately.
You have to run to the moon.
Damn it! What did you know?
10th level spell.
James was there like, shit, whatever I come up with is going to be really underwhelming by comparison now.
What do you need?
Elastic Heart says, "Mysterious Copper Dragonborn." You're quite right.
What do you need?
Well, I will have to consult with the Vice Master, who has moved to... he has called us short of a meeting tonight due to your interruption. But I will be in touch soon enough with a request for us. But fair enough, there will be something for you to prove your skills.
You know where we're staying.
Yes, I know where you're staying. We know where you're staying.
But let's say the people we're looking for, we've already got people looking for them in the town. We've got the town's guards keeping an eye on the exits for them. The only way they're getting out of town with the statue is probably through your services. So if you do find anyone matching what we're looking for, come and tell us.
We shall see. And she just turns around and leaves. Leaving you just with the gnome. She goes, "Well, I have a little information that I can give to you."
What is that face? What is that flirty face you're doing? What is that?
And what would that be?
Well, if you give me a
Sounds
little
jolly good.
something, I will give that to you straight away.
Seth keeps meeting seductive women in single solo rooms.
I have not met I have not met one of your kind before, but I must be an admirer of your form. You seem like quite a handsome chap.
Full Emmanuel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Although you feel like you have a little something missing, your head is not looking as best as it could be. She points to the big scar on your head.
Injury from a fight before.
Oh, but of course. But if you were to give me a little kiss, I will tell you exactly. I will tell you.
Come back, we've lost our fucking minds.
I will give you a little bit of information that may be useful to you.
It's very. It's
In your investigation.
hello.
It is very much so.
Good moaning.
Someone's very good moaning.
Okay.
Good moaning.
Okay. Yeah, I'll kiss her.
To give it a
Oh,
little.
you're ribbing the
What
bonk.
kind of, I mean, are we going for a little
Some-
peck here? Or are we
there's a
going
whole
like
new
full
menu.
on like?
Hey, go French. Could you demonstrate?
Hey!
Can I make an insight check?
Oh, was it into what she would like?
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
is this
Right.
the Matrix movie?
Okay, make an
Kiss me
inside
like you
check.
kiss her moment.
Insight.
I like Jam, he's not
20
Monica
non-natural.
Bellucci.
20. I mean, she doesn't know you very well, but she finds you quite attractive. I think just a quick snog would probably do it. You reckon?
Wham bam.
This.
Thank you, ma'am.
Sure.
What is happening?
Sure.
No tongue, no tongue.
Okay.
Probably do
Okay.
it. Probably do it.
Sure.
She just kind of
I'll go for the kiss.
make a performance check.
Oh!
Hello, make a sexy performance.
I'm gonna use my inspiration.
Yes! Brilliant.
Oh, that wasn't necessary actually. Performance.
You might get
It'd be
natural
funnier if
20.
there was a female player
for
here.
that.
Roll
Roll
on a
17.
Roll on a flat surface for the love of Pete.
17. 2 17.
17. I mean, for a moment, she has to catch her breath afterwards. Oh, well, I can see you very much want this information. She said, and then she leans in and she says, "Listen carefully. I will say this only once.
Everyone listen.
You are looking for somebody who has been transporting a statue. Is that right?
Yes.
Out of the town.
Yeah, they bought an ox and cart to try and transport.
Well, unfortunately, they have already left the town. They left not a day ago. But a day, possibly two. I cannot remember exactly, but they have left. Our spies did not see exactly which direction, but I believe it is in the general vicinity of south towards Runda. It's the capital of Brooklyn.
It's alright.
Didn't think you were going to be trying to do a French accent when you came up with that name, did you?
Nope. Nope, didn't anticipate that.
Oh, shit. They can't do this.
And you're sure it was them leaving with an ox and cart with the statue?
It is the only Lhasa statue I've seen live here in the last couple of weeks.
Thank you very much for this
Oh,
information.
thank you.
I'll give her another kiss.
All right.
For another
Just say
answer.
thank you.
She's just like taken aback for a minute. And just like has a little moment to herself before remembering where she is, and she just exits through the door, leaving you alone.
I'm interested in the idea that every couple of weeks a statue of a person is going through town. Not for the last couple of weeks, and then there was one, and then a couple of weeks, and then there's another one. And it's not suspicious.
I mean, there's a
Just
lot
one
of
statue
trading
through
going
town.
on, you know.
How long ago did they leave?
There you go.
Alright.
Cool. I'll leave to go towards the lights and join the rest of the group.
Okay, great.
Actually, can I even see the lights? Because Mal's being taken away.
You can't see the light when you go out there. There's no light.
I'll follow the path towards where I assume Brucon and the Abram would have
Yeah.
gone.
I mean, you know your way back to the town
Yeah.
pretty
I'm
easily.
going to try and go the same way.
You're trying to find where they've
I assume
gone.
they'll be waiting
Okay.
close by.
Just make a survival check just to see if you can track them.
7.
Okay, so back at the Trickle Inn. So you've
Thanks for waiting, guys.
So you reconvene.
You're
First of
clearly
all,
the
Malar, you are
protagonist.
strong-armed back to the inn in the company of the venerable Howland Cragmere. And upon entering, you see before you that one of the first tables by the door, you've got Fleeting Look there, tending to Lainey, your daughter.
Tending to?
Tending to as in he's just brought over some food for her. And himself, along with extra cabbage, which you haven't really questioned at this point.
Yeah, I did have a bit of I was like, if they got threatening, I was like, we've got people in town ready to go with information, and they're like flashback to him losing rock paper scissors against her or something. We've got key people ready. Flash to him, flash to Daenerys, just burning paper, going, it does burn.
You see, Lainey just looks up straight away, clocking eyes with you, and she just looks very relieved that you've returned. Like she smiles towards Fleeting Look in a very polite manner before going back to you.
Lainey, good evening.
All right, Father, you haven't been gone very long.
No. Have you had fun with this fine gentleman?
Yes, Mr. Fleeting has been, yes.
Good. Well, thank you for watching over her. And for making sure she has a healthy intake of iron as well.
You're welcome. I had a fantastic time. Unhand me. Mr. Look, we should... to arms. So, this man has taken me... We must find the others. Or they're in...
A 1 hour grapple back to town.
That's an arm roll.
Half hour later, man, just being dragged like across the floor. He's just like, come on. He's like, not moving anymore.
I checked the spell does last 8 hours with concentration, so...
Yeah, you are currently under the influence. Not that influence, but that influence, yes. Led back to the table, and upon getting there, not long after you get there, in fact, I'm guessing Malar refusing to sit down, but you're just holding him and sitting at the table, trying to get away. In a short while, Brucon and the Oberyn also enter the bar, and that's shortly followed by the barmaid who you gave the letter to earlier on that day. He goes, all right, can I get you any drinks or anything? I can see your friends here have got some, but do you want anything yourselves?
So these two are back now.
Yes.
They probably at least mentioned that.
And she does actually clock both her fingers. Good evening and welcome to the Trickle Inn. I'm Henlav. How may I be of service? Half-elven barmaid. Lovely dress, voluptuous figure. Lovely.
I believe we're joining the others with drinks and food and such.
Well, of course, but I mean, what kind of drink can I get for you? Just a normal tap beer, or would you prefer anything a bit more exotic? We got wine.
The exotic section, yes, please.
Oh, would you like a bottle of wine, or a little, or a pitcher of our more affordable wine?
Actually, no, we just got kicked out of building. I'll go for the pitcher.
Oh, right you are.
Pitcher of wine.
Anything, and for you, my friend?
Do you have what do you have by way of hard liquor?
Oh, well, we've got a bottle of that flaming Jack Booker.
Oh God, no.
Aside from that, we've got a well-aged whiskey. I'm going to give you some of that.
That sounds. Now you're speaking my language. I will have one of your whiskeys.
I mean, I don't speak Dwarvish, but I have been taking a few lessons. But I'm afraid I'm
really?
not too good at that. No, I can give you a couple of words, and then she just, in very broken Dwarvish, says, "Good evenings. You all are most welcomings."
Brucon kind of smiles and nods and goes, very good, yes, very good.
You know.
Keep chipping away at it. I'm sure you'll be gargling like a native in no time.
She just laughs and turns to the rest of you. So, any drinks for you at all? You're obviously tended to already. You've got drinks. You're fine.
I'd like your heaviest stouts for my friend Malar here. Something that'll really root him to the spot and make sure he doesn't leave the place.
No, I will take a
something that'll let his stomach like a concrete block.
Yeah, like tar, but drinkable.
I mean, I can see what we've got. We've got a small cask of something.
No, excuse me, I lost my mouth for a second there, fuck. I would much rather, water, thank you.
Aye, a thick water, one really heavy.
Right, I can bring you a jug of water. There we go, that'll be fine, won't it? Anyway, yeah, right then. And she disappears off, and I'll be back shortly with the drinks, and of course to pay up. All right, for you to pay up, I mean. All right, I'll be back shortly. Anyway, he comes back with drinks, asks you for the wine. It's going to be 3 silver pieces.
3 silver pieces.
For you, for the whiskey, it's 5 silver pieces, and then for the stout, that's 5 copper pieces. Water's free. There you go. Because tap water's free. You know, as you do. Anyway, so
taps on the other hand.
So you enjoy your first round of drinks. You then ask for a second round. You're going to take a second round of drinks. This would include you this time, Fleeting, as well.
Thank you.
Anyway, you're offered a second round. Yeah, you're going to take more water. Another cranberry juice. A pitcher of water. Right. And any other drinks at all?
I mean, if everyone keeps getting their own drinks, I'll probably just get one glass of the
wine. One glass of the fancy wine.
Have you got
I got the pitcher last time, and everyone's had that and then ordered their own drinks as well. I'll just get my own way.
You unknowingly bought around.
So just take off the same again for wine. 2 hours later, Seth appears.
2 hours?
2 hours. You got completely lost. You thought because of your survival check. You were looking for tracks. You thought you found some tracks. It turns out the tracks you were following are those of the werewolf that you'd followed from to the farm in the first place. You ended up on the edge of.
10 minutes. No one go back.
You ended up on the edge of the forest.
Drinks.
You ended up on the edge of Half-Light Forest. You ended up in the lumber yard, completely disorientated before you realised where the gate was and headed back.
Did he go back to that farm? Is he now coming back in a sheepskin, having
No sheepskin, but
You guys are still up.
Yeah.
Has he got lipstick on his face?
I was going to say, and he came in late.
I would say because you wouldn't be looking for it. What's your passive perception?
13.
30.
Before Seth gets back, I'm going to tell on him.
You rat king.
Oh, this is great.
You rat king.
Hey, I like it.
Mr.
So he did that.
Mr. Malar, I don't want to alarm you unduly, but Seth was he was hearing voices, and I had detect magic on, and I wasn't looking intentionally, but he does appear to be still carrying that medallion, that amulet with the voices.
I had suspected as much. I am keeping an eye on Mr. Seth, and I'm keeping him at arm's distance. I would be prudent if we maintained our visual on him.
But yes, he was hearing different voices, which is why we thought it was okay to leave him.
One is bad enough. Once you start hearing multiple voices, I mean, that really is the devil's work.
You heard voices in the cave.
No, there, shut up.
Told.
Also, clerical get-out clause doesn't apply to me.
God's on my side.
God's special, God's special bestie.
My job is to hear
God's
voices.
on my best friend's side.
Oh, Keith.
Yes, Keith.
Oh, Keith. Anyway, yes. So you do this. You while away the next hour with drinking and polite conversation before Seth turns up.
I look really pissed off. Come and I just see you guys there. Where's that fucking dwarf?
Oh,
No, the one I don't like.
Brooke kind of sniggers and like, here. He likes me.
Can't tell the difference between them. You'll have to.
They're not there now. They were called out, weren't they, to look for to help you.
Well,
basically.
they're all they were super tight with the cult of Fairfan, who just lost a member. So that's presumably.
Mm-hmm. Yep, they have not returned to the inn. It's about 2 o'clock in the morning at this time, and you can see the barmaid's just cleaning up the bar, and she's rung the bell for last orders.
Lane needs to get to bed. What are you doing up at this hour?
Oh, come on, Father! I can join in with.
I am a responsible
No,
adult.
you're on a job.
I can join in with everyone else, can't
You need to be up at 6 a.m. to polish my armour.
I mean, if I'm meant to be a shield of bronze like you, then I've got to do what you do.
Oh, no. You listen to what I say. You don't do what I do. Now, off to bed with you.
Alright. She kind of turns, starts walking and then stops. Where are we staying, Father?
That's a good question. Can I just signal over one of the staff?
It's just Henlaf, the barmaid currently.
Oh, right.
But yes, you can. You can signal her over if you would like. She doesn't look best pleased that you've clicked at her to come over, as most waiting staff would be. Quite a. No, don't like that. Oh yes.
Lass, aye. My daughter and I have rooms here set aside for us by Lord Gant of Bron.
Oh, Lord Braun, yes, right, I've got just the room for you. So, yes, it's the Arctic Bear room.
Arctic Bear room.
Right.
Sounds thematic.
You missed this.
Yeah.
All the rooms here are like this.
Oh, yeah, they've all got themes. You don't know this, but they've got
all
themes.
the rooms are predatory animals, apart from the sheep room.
Except for the sheep room.
which Seth has.
Yeah.
Do you mind showing my Shield of Bron here through to the room?
Of course. And what was your name, little madam? It's Laney. Laney Cragmere. Yes.
House Cragmere, don't be shy about it.
House Cragmere.
There we go.
House Cragmere. I mean, I'm maybe exaggerating the looking up here a little bit. She's like 13, so maybe it's anyway. Right. Well. All right, Laney of House Cragmere. If you'd like to follow me up these stairs, and they just disappear off away to the bedroom. You see that she has the key. Hand enough. She returns shortly and gives you the key to the room, which has a little white tuft of it looks of bear pelt attached to it.
Very nice.
Malar watches this and then sort of similarly follows, like stands up. Gentlemen, I will
I
be
literally just
taking
got
my.
there. Did anyone answer me when I said the dwarf? Where's the dwarf?
Oh God! Sorry, I just ignored you.
I'm sure you can consult one of the voices.
We're a little-
It's a set.
We had a little.
As Malar starts to walk away, I go, she's already left.
Yeah, we had a little OOC.
Malar stops.
Before we even got here, they'd seen the cart go. Oxen cart carrying a statue left the day before we got here.
Well, let's hope they're sleeping now as well then. He continues up the stairs.
How do I care more about her than you right now?
He cares, he just doesn't really understand how to deal with you.
Yeah.
As you pass Henlath on the way upstairs, she goes, "Oh, if you would like, so all the rooms come with their own baths. If you would like a bath, we can, me and the staff can attend to you. Although it'll probably be first thing in the morning now, as we've all gone home for the evening.
It's
It's a gold piece for that, but you'll feel so clean, my friend. Thank you."
Sorry, what was the exact suggestion that I had?
Was to return to the inn for the evening and take him with you.
Right, okay, so it's
Mission accomplished.
it's not like I have to keep him in the room.
He
No,
goes,
no.
He goes to bed with Malar.
And then I bath.
Smutty episode
Stop
2.0.
bathing together. It's not me, it's suggestion. Help me.
Did not realise.
Look away, Laney, look away.
It's been 12 hours. It wore off 4 hours ago.
Did not realise this was this kind of campaign when I signed up.
Did you not slice and dice? It should have been smut and dice, but oh well. Is there anything else you guys would like to achieve with this evening, or are you happy to kind of drink up and go to bed? Is there anything
I
else
think
to do?
we've done a lot with this day. To be fair,
You have had a long day.
I was just going back to the
3
notes.
times.
Did we? Was it
Yes.
today we arrived?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Today we have fought spiders, we have fought a pack of wolves, we have
Yeah.
fought werewolves,
Yeah.
and we have investigated town and gone shopping.
Yeah, it's been,
Most
it's
of
been a day.
you, most of you have probably done achieved more in this day than I think most of us has in real life during this day. So it's been an eventful day. Okay, so yes, you head on to bed for the evening. Any of the rest of you taking up on the offer for baths in the morning? Yes, of course you are. Yeah, 1 gold piece.
Brooke-
If
Brookon's
I've given
okay.
that information that everyone's gone, then yeah, I'm going to bed. And when I go to my room, I know Fleeting's got one near me, so I'm going to put a chair
to.
behind my door when I go in there.
Just up against the handle, yeah.
My windows are locked.
Open the other way.
And then, at which point you turn around and Fleeting's there, dangling from the ceiling,
The window is
staring
locked.
at you.
The door is barricaded, and I'm sitting there going, I'll keep this ring one more night.
So,
And then just this voice from next to your ear, sounding almost upside down. Dark in here, isn't it?
Dan, we've missed you.
as you go up to the bed for the evening, as to your various themed rooms, when you enter, all of these rooms, they're kind of really high end, really well adorned. They're with all of the features you would desire, very spacious. All got nice lattice windows for you to look out over Hillberg, and especially for you in the Eagle Room, you've got a great view. In fact, kind of almost a panoramic view, because there's windows in every corner essentially. And each of you have themes of
makes
your room.
getting changed a
So
bit of a-
for you, with the with
got
the
a cape.
owlbear
I'll bring the
room,
cape up.
there's an owlbear pelt just on the floor, but at the foot of the bed. Among various chests and so on. The Eagle Room, you have a stuffed eagle that's proudly displayed on a mount in one corner. Arctic bear again, bear pelt. Mountain lion pelt, and there's a lion head as well, affixed to the wall in a kind of trophy style taxidermy. Your room was the wolf room. Again, there's a wolf pelt, and there's various claws that seem to have been. It seems. Maybe prehistoric man or first age man may have sort of carved into weapons that are then displayed along the wall. And
Well,
you're in the
welcome-
sheep room. You've got a lovely,
Welcome to
you've got a lovely woolen throw across the bed. All of you
I
have
call him
a
Dad, to be fair.
all of you have a terracotta bath in one end of the room, which is currently empty, but is going to be filled up by hand later on, or by bucket.
When Brucon enters the room, he sees Wolfpelt and immediately goes into combat pose for a moment. And he's like,
Yeah.
no, it's okay.
It's fine.
That
It's
one's
fine.
been skinned.
So finally relax, and you realise the whiskey may have got to you, and bed for the evening.
That was the idea.
So upon waking the next morning,
Long rest.
you are all long rested, ready to go.
To be fair, I had most of the
Meaning
stuff.
you get everything back if you had anything missing.
Jesus walks ahead,
It's
yeah.
everything back.
Food gets
Just like if I'd had a short rest.
lovely. And yes, you
get back
stave off
a hit
exhaustion
point and a
for
hit
another
dice.
day.
That's it.
Wake up in the morning. So, Leobrin, one of the things you really appreciated about your room is that compared to the last place, this is so clean. It's been immaculately all the sheets have been pressed before entering. They've really taken good care of the room, and the 4 gold you paid for it seems entirely justified to you in that.
Being treated as I should be treated.
Can I ask, obviously, since I get undressed, go to bed and stuff, do I obviously find the medallion in my pocket?
If you look for it, yes. It's
I
there.
don't look for it, I don't know.
But when you pull on the clothes, you do. What's your passive perception?
Feel something.
I think it's
hard in
higher
his
now. It's like
pocket.
15.
Yeah, it's like 15, 16.
15. Okay, yes. So you would notice when you put on your clothes that there's a jingling in the pocket that you don't remember being there, and you pull it out and see it is the medallion, the same one. It's back. Can't seem to be rid of it currently. Okay, and so in the morning, one after the other. First Malar, and then yourself have your baths. You can make idle conversation if there's anything you want to achieve, conversation-wise. Any information
They're
you
all
want,
baths
you
next to each other.
No.
Good
No, sorry. So it's
Mr. Mallard, Mr. Shea Creek, sir.
He gets in your bath, the water just displaces completely out.
no. So for
Who's
Mal,
not expecting company?
Uses the trick as a shower.
I really should have when I saw 6 baths in a line.
so Leobrin, it's just you, and you're attended by Henlath. She fills the bath for you, and then she's also scrubbing you. And
Yet somehow attending everyone else.
Now we know how she hooked up with Greenblade.
Malar, you are attended to by a young dragonborn female. This one of bronze, and her name's Flick, and she seems quite tentative, but she does a fine job of cleaning you. I'm just saying, if there's any information that you'd like to get from these 2 characters, go ahead. Otherwise, I'm going to skip ahead.
Bit of idle chit chat. What was the name of this bronze dragon?
Flick.
It's bronze. You said?
Bronze, yeah.
No, not really.
If when I wake up in the morning I find this, can I go knock for Mala?
Sure. Okay.
Is he in his room with the bath, or is it somewhere?
Yeah, it's in the room. Yes.
Oh, okay. Are you in your bath? Can he finish his bath when I get?
Hang on.
Yeah, I was
Something-
going to say,
you
that's
see
the kind of
something-
question that only has one answer, and it sounds like
looking
this.
Forward to this.
You see something long, grey and wrinkly
Hope it doesn't
floating in
look
the
like
tub.
So I'm gonna. So
It's his
I'm gonna
trunk.
use percentile dice just to see. 19. So yeah, no, he's finished. So you actually see Flick just kind of disappear out the room, dashes off, moving very swiftly, kind of brushes past you, leaving the room. Obviously, the door closes behind her just before you can get there.
With the door closed, I'll still knock anyways. Let's get there. I'm going to do the secret thieves can't knock.
Come in.
Oh, so I'll open the door. Go inside.
Malar's
Malar,
a drink.
Malar is in his towel.
Do you need a minute?
Oh, Mr. Seth, please, come in.
Is this a towel sized for humans?
He's there enough.
It's just a loincloth. It's just
Regrettably,
hanging here.
yes.
It doesn't go
It's
around
a
the back.
human size.
I can wait till later if you're busy.
Oh, no. Please.
It was kind of important. A
Take
conversation.
a. I've been meaning to have a conversation with you for a while. Please take a seat.
Do you want to get dressed?
Oh, very well. Towel comes off, puts on his shoes.
No.
Just,
What's happened to my 24 hours here?
Door comes off and you hear this noise.
No!
Loxodons, baby.
I will re-propose the idea of slice and dick.
Smart
Oh,
dick.
But I don't. That doesn't sound. That sounds like no fun at all. It's. I mean, it's a
Once
good
you're
pun, but
dressed,
no.
I'm gonna say to you, it's like, look, when I was when I came here last night.
Mr. Seth, stop right there.
Oh, no, let me go first.
No,
because I know what you're going
please.
to do.
And because I've selected it today, Zone of Truth.
Really?
Bath of Truth.
No, Bath of Truth.
He's
Do I
still in
know?
there.
Zone of...
Do I know?
Where on Malar is the zone of truth?
Have this spell!
Yep.
But I've only just, like...
Prepared it.
Prepared it, yeah.
We interrogated so many people.
I should say on the themed rooms, Dreg Lazarus has said, if every room is themed around a dangerous predator, which is the human room? It's a very good point.
Does it have Buffalo Bill style lampshades?
Jesus Christ.
Oh dear. Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to
Hey,
interrupt
Drake,
this
we've
tender
missed you.
moment. Carry on. So,
What-
Zone of
what
Truth,
I
he has to
need
make a charisma save, I believe.
Yes, it is. It's
Do
a Christmas
I-
save.
Do I know what this is? Like,
You feel you know this is a spell,
I
yes.
cast a spell.
before I make the save, can I ask him?
You
it
know
is?
what kind of spell it is.
You know he's gonna
As part of the spell, you actually are aware
Oh, I
that
do
it's
now.
trying to get truth out of you.
Oh, okay, so
So
don't tell
you're
you the
aware,
truth.
so you can try and dodge questions, but you can't lie. Basically, if you fail to save. Because I read up on this.
Anything you say has to be true.
But you can not answer.
Okay, so I know
You
this
can
spell
deflect
is
and
a
avoid.
truth
Yeah.
spell.
Yeah.
Can I opt not to make the charisma saving throw?
You'll automatically fail if you don't make the charisma
Yeah,
save.
can I do that?
Okay.
Okay, so I don't know that because that's all metagaming.
No, you do know that.
No.
No, I do know that he fails. Oh, excellent. Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
No, like, do you know I've chosen?
I know that the
Not
spell
to.
is working on you.
Okay.
You didn't get a strained expression on your face.
No.
Mr.
What are you doing?
You just hear alert. There's no danger here.
What are you doing?
Mr. Seth,
I think making a rogue tell the truth is danger. Your ring should be going off at all times.
Let me tell you.
we,
I'll start with that.
you and I have an issue between us. Your dealings with another worldly entity against my better wishes, and I would like to clear the air somewhat. What were you going to say when you came in?
Actually, that. I was going to go and say, after the incident that happened in the basement of Flaming Jack's, I threw the medallion down in the cave, but last night, when I was going to bed, it was with me again. I've not done anything to it there since, but I left it in the cave, and it was with me again last night.
There's something of a microscopic scale. I was thinking something broader, like, what are your intentions traveling with this party?
Yeah, that's pretty broad. Hang on, let me think of my entire character background. Give me a second.
Crime. Lots of crime.
I came to land to...
Tell me, Seth, who are you really?
Yeah.
When you get right down to it.
I came here to get stronger and try and find out how this if any magic can help me get stronger as well.
Do you mean anybody any harm
In the party, no.
outside of the party?
That fucking dwarf.
No.
And any dogs who might possibly happen to be in his company.
But to people in general, you bear no ill will. You don't intend to pursue power at their expense.
Not at all. Like everyone I fought with in the past has always been. When I fought on the ships, they've always been part of my crew, very loyal to each other. And when I came to land, I came here with the contract to find that basilisk. Though I knew I couldn't fight it alone, which is what I want to get stronger and get magic for. But the first thing I had to find was people that could help me, people with magic. And I would not hurt the people I'm fighting with.
The agent within the medallion that you still possess, do you intend to use that in any way to make yourself stronger, more powerful?
No. Because when I first... That's what
Well, no, it's probably enough. You don't have to elaborate. Yeah.
Well, when I found it, when I met you, I asked about the gods and how you got your magic, and after that I prayed to mine. Neris said that hers was just born with it. Yes, I tried to blow up a couple doors after she said that, but
Mr. Seth.
it's the same as force on an elevator.
Just like they're getting it all out there now, man. It's just all coming spilling out.
Mr. Seth.
But I wanted this magic, and this thing said it could give me magic. There was no problem with it, but then once it said that it gave the power to the Rat King, That was just an insane man. He had no power. He threw potions at us. It was something that he made. There was no magic. And then after that, I asked it to show me, and it attacked me. After that, I told you not to touch the medallion because it said don't let them take it. It banished you. It's attached to people I'm fighting with.
Excuse me, what?
What? Which part?
The banishment. I'm not. What?
No, it sent you away. When you appeared in the puddle?
I don't really recall. Mr. Zepp, if I counsel you against such matters of dark magic, will you listen or at least heed my warnings?
The warnings did. Wait, when did you warn me about it?
No, I'm saying in the future.
In the future, yes. But
Mr. Zepp, no more. That would be enough. And I drop the zone of truth. We have you are honourable to a very limited extent. But, I'm willing to overlook your indiscretions. You have an honest soul, but
I've spent
you are.
the last week trying to help you with this.
Is that in character?
Yes. You said you're honest to an extent.
You are. But I still am wary of this. We should look into this after we find Lady
I have never lied to
Elaine.
you about this or my intentions for helping you.
Malar shrugs off
Set the truth down, right?
his vest sort of jacket. Come, let me buy you breakfast. And leaves the room.
Alright, so so you head down to breakfast. Anyone else doing anything, or are you just going to go straight in with your breakfast? Anything noteworthy that you'd like to do?
I climb down.
Of course, you untether yourself and climb down because there was a lovely blue velvet sheet over your bed, and you just decided to tie yourself to the banister instead. Sorry, to the banisters. What am I saying? The beams instead.
Right.
Just looked at the bed, just a lovely view of the bedwork in the morning. There it is. It's like, oh, that looks soft, and you can just untie yourself and just fall straight onto it and just bounce straight up. It's great.
Oh, sorry, that was in your room. I thought you meant you were above them in their room.
That's what usually happens.
On this occasion, locked doors.
I pictured someone walking up the stairs and just seeing Fleeting hanging on.
yeah, got that wrong.
Like some kind of stuffed tiefling just sleeping there.
So, make your way at various intervals down to breakfast for the day.
I make Lainey she bathes. I make her bathe.
Only 5 silver pieces because she's an infant. Well,
she
not
doesn't
infant,
want to.
she's half size.
I make her do it.
Sorry, because she's a young'un.
Yeah. Less of them to cover.
It's kind of like bus passes. It's cheaper, if you're a minor.
Student rates.
Yeah, student rates, exactly.
Yeah.
So
we come down for
and she's very clean, very, very clean.
Squire discount card.
in your weeks of travelling from Bron, there hasn't been a proper. She hasn't had a proper bath in quite some time. She's had cat's licks essentially, but this is the first time she's been properly clean. She's a lot fairer skin now that she's been clean than she was
Been licked
beforehand.
by all those cats. Take a whole layer of
We
epidermis.
actually have a cat that I just put sort of wipe across it.
Chamois cat.
And from this, and again, it's like her hair wasn't as dark as it had been for the last few weeks, so it's now got that more mousy kind of coloured back into it that you remember from when you were young. And head on down to breakfast. So, you guys, breakfast generally you're all kind of offered the same thing. It comes as part of the room, so you're offered the eggs and bacon. With a couple of thick
breakfast?
slices of bread just to see through.
I was hoping the breakfast would be themed as well. You get hawk. Like everyone else is suddenly regretting their room, and Zeph has lamb and is just having a great time.
So I was thinking it was going to be the other way. It was going to be the thing that your stuff would catch. So whoever's in hawk room gets voles.
Voles.
Everyone else gets something vaguely resembling an actual meal, and you get
It's grass.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, he gets grass, and you
Comfy
get,
villager.
I sit down and Malar's like, here's your breakfast. Gives me a plate of grass. It's like, thank you.
So as you are all served your breakfast just around one long table between you, there's still a few patrons even at this hour. It's about 10 o'clock in the morning at this point. It's not the busiest time. There's a few tables there. You sit down to breakfast. You need to decide between you what your next course of action is.
I'm going to let them all know everything she said about how it's left, which would now be 2 days ago. And they were heading down the direction of Rundar, which has a goddamn port. They could be anywhere. We're literally 2 days behind them.
No, Mr. Seth, surely did they not leave yesterday, or was that yesterday? So yes, 2
Yeah.
days.
2 days ago. Yesterday we arrived here. They left the day before.
Do we know how far it is to Rundar? Like a day's worth of travel by cart?
Yes, so you would gather, especially because you've frequented Rundar, in fact you and Brucon have frequented Rundar on many occasions, Brucon more so than you, but you still have been there. You would know that from roughly where you are, if you were travelling by horse and carriage, on horseback or similar, you would be getting to Rundar in a matter of 1 to 2 days. If you were walking, it would take significantly longer, probably double that.
1 to 2 days. Can you guys teleport?
No.
No.
Okay, we can't make it in time.
If they were moving covertly, might they be travelling slowly?
That's a possibility, yeah.
If they are trying to hide their a massive statue, perhaps, then they might have taken back roads or might have been less.
And you don't, you don't know the general condition of the cart and how big it is and how easy it is to transport. So it could be that they're moving at a fairly sluggish pace, but you don't know. You can guess theories and you can discuss this at leisure, but you don't know for sure.
I won't use the voice because it tires me out. But what the fuck are we doing?
We've been behind them the entire way, chasing them for days. Do we have any idea where they could be going? Does she have any enemies?
Actually, so as the crow flies, it's didn't we establish it's somebody from their rival house?
The tree one.
Is the House of Ash?
Yeah, House Ash is the one that you identified.
House Ash had the coin purse.
And Teenan pointed out that this was a vassal house of House Rookwood, and he suspects that they are behind the abduction.
Yeah.
Which obviously you can. I would assume that you would bring this information up.
Yeah. Why do I have written down their second and third borns are called Harold and John from the House of Ash? How do I know this?
I don't know about Harold, but I think John is the one you found who's dead.
I think I asked Tina the Turin or something, and they knew a couple names.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. Actually, that's what it is. Yes.
So I asked Lord Gans
yeah.
for any information he could dig up on the house itself and the members of it.
Mm-hmm.
That I think would Howland have a vague understanding of House Rookwood anyway, just not that particular battle.
Yes, you would, because they're a house of some repute. Obviously, they are one of the 3 liege houses, so they're big bucks. You know that House Rookwood is ambitious, militaristic, and they occupy the center of the Crowflies. Their sort of their mantra is basically that they believe they are the original and worthy house. They essentially their goal is to be the overall rule of the Crowflies itself, rather than being divided into feudal cities as it currently is. So it seems that is their sort of ultimate driving force. They believe that they are entitled to the Crowflies, and they don't have a great relationship with Grenforth, who are much less militaristic. They're much more into the arts and culture, and basically having a great time, getting drunk generally, and partying and theatre. They love the arts. But you consider them a bit more of the airy fairy types. Grenforth, just to use your colloquial terms. And well, you know enough about Bronn that I don't need to tell you anything about Bronn.
Yeah.
Well, if they've kidnapped Lady Grenforth is the closest one in the Crowflies to the port. They wouldn't be taking her there, would they? But then the closest one from that is in the forest. The small porting town in Isk.
Mr. Howland, if you were to be transporting back a hostage of
Say hypothetically.
Oh, indeed, yes. What would be
I just put my hands over Laney's ears.
What would be how would you do it? How would you get back? Bearing in mind that Mr. Sev is accurate, Grenforth do control the nearest port.
Aye. It'd be risky going through there. Obviously, you're taking her back to her homeland, effectively. If you're going to ransom her, obviously you want to do it from a position of power. That would be Rookwood itself.
They'd go through the forest for that.
Aye, Littrix Forest could be an avenue of exploration, but taking them through Littrix is almost as tricky. there's plenty of things going on in there that would make life hard for him, especially with a cart.
One other thing you would know about Latrix Forest is that, as well as the forest creatures that inhabit it, and it's more of a Latrix Forest is essentially jungle when you get into the centre of it. But the other denizens of that are the Furborg tribes of the One Nation, and they're kind of a nomadic-ish people, but I would say reminiscent of sort of Native American tribes,
Right.
And very much into the ecosystem and conservation efforts, and that, they don't want the forest to be destroyed, and they'll do anything to protect it, so they could cause problems too.
I imagine Rookwood haven't been that eco-conscious either. Okay.
Nope.
If the forest is a no, then the only place they'd go to would be the next port, which would be the capital of Isk, which down the bottom in Loth.
Eye off.
Well, now, hang on. If they're going the long way around, sure. If they did want to maybe intersect through the forest, they could go to Knee, or assuming that's Knee.
Nay.
But if they're going to all those,
Elbow.
we can still go to Grettenforth, can't we?
Eggy.
Oh, yes,
could-
indeed.
Cut them off if they're going towards Rookwood. We could cut them off. If we get to Rookwood first.
Cut them off at the knee.
That's brilliant. I guess there is one other alternative. It's not quite as daring as actually turning up in the port of the person you've taken hostage, but maybe going as far as whatever this one here is called, that I don't really...
What's that on the island? Arosaman.
They could sail up as far as Erisman and then take her across and not actually go into Grenthorpe, but skirt around the edges. Would that sound feasible?
I would agree with you there. Grenforth are not known for their diligent sentinels necessarily. Their eyes are looking inward more than outward.
We could, but we could definitely cut them off if certainly, assuming they don't go to
We just need to
Grenthorpe.
figure out who's taking us so we can get to whoever their bosses are first.
What if we were to set sail to Grenforth? The worst case scenario is we'd be able to alert the house and possibly make it their problem and gain some aid.
I can't say I've been to Rundar, but if we go to Kalas, it's a couple weeks away, but I can get us a boat for free to get us up there.
Rundar has a port, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Rundar has a port.
Even if it had a docks quarter, in fact, it's of the city, a quarter of the city.
That's significant.
Oh yeah, they got a lot of port room and harbour and stuff there.
Well, maybe we could
Sizable
get
wharf.
to Rundar, hitch a rise to Kalas, you work your magic, and then we'll go.
That could be a good idea.
I don't necessarily want to give away everything that my lord is trying to achieve.
Sure.
Give it away.
But
Do it.
Give it away.
No, sorry, go ahead, because of course you are here for a reason, so...
yeah.
Give us all the plot.
I can see that the quest that they are pursuing poses a threat. The sort of enemies they are pursuing pose a threat to my house.
Mm-hmm.
There's a potential aligning of interests
Yes.
between you and us.
Enemy of your enemy.
So-
Or it's like more plot building.
Yee.
God, sorry.
So, I mean, I really want to meet up with Lord Gant at some point just to see what he's found out. But for now,
Oh, and he's expecting you too at some point in the morning.
Great.
Perverse
okay.
behaviour.
So I will say, I may be overstepping my boundaries here, but my Lord Gant is here on a purpose, and that is to strengthen Lord House Bron's resolve in the face of House Rookwood. If something so bold and brazen as an abduction of a leading lady of House Grenforth were to be announced publicly, it would result in quite a severe conflict. I'd like to avoid such a conflict if it were possible.
We were on totally different mental chains then. I was like, cool, let's do that.
Yeah. Let's start a war.
I was like, that will help us so much.
I don't know how familiar you are with Rookwood, but they are prodigious in military affairs, and they have quite an army.
And would that be the match for both the Grenforth army and the Bran armies?
It would likely be the Bron army that would be fighting in that war.
Grenforth's not bringing a great deal to the table in that respect.
Oh, they can bring plenty to a table, just not to a battlefield.
They haven't.
Zing!
They haven't. Classic. Right, take that inspiration, my friend. Boom!
Got him!
I should say that although Grenforth don't have much of an army, as such, obviously they've got their guards and they maintain order within their borders, but they do have a sizable navy. That's one thing they do have, and they're the only sort of naval-minded of the three.
Right.
But yes, that aside from that, you're quite right. It's at this point, while you're discussing what to do next, that you see a purple tiefling in polished armour, who you recognise actually from the previous evening, comes in and goes, I thought I would find you here. You may not remember me, Asim Devilblight, the lieutenant of the Hillberg Guard. I've been sent here by Councillor Potter. They would like your presence imminently, if you would care to follow me.
Who does?
Councillor Potter.
Oh, my lord was meeting with them to discuss...
She runs this town in the absence of Governor Henley. She is the authoritative figure here. Aside from the captain of the guard, of course.
And why does she want to see us?
Well, I was not told exactly, but I have a feeling it was something to do with the foe that you slayed last night.
I have business at the Chapel of the Seven, so maybe we do this. I hit that and we strategize after lunch.
We could be getting medals.
Oh.
You're the Chewbacca who doesn't get one.
Well, I think if any of your party here are going to be receiving medals, it is going to be my tiefling friend here, as you are the one. You are the one.
You're fucking welcome.
Yeah, I literally couldn't hurt it.
You brought in the killing blow with a magnificent hammer that I see there before me.
Did I?
That is what I heard. Yes.
I think it was quite. I think there was quite a lot of teamwork involved.
But of course, I do not mean to get across any bias at all. I just merely revel in the fact that one of my countrymen appears in this town. It is not often that we see many of the tieflings here.
Thank you. I'm very flattered, but I already have a best friend.
It just kind of looks at you quizzically for a minute.
Completely misreads the situation.
Welcome,
completely taken aback.
Welcome to the fleeting show. It's all like this.
He goes,
Fucking great.
well, never mind. I'm sure I can make other friends. Anyway, if you would like to finish your breakfast and follow me post-haste, it is of much urgency that you have been summoned.
On the way, is Neris' house on this way?
You don't know because you haven't been there yet. As into the council chambers. You don't know where that is yet. Oh, well, actually, no, you have a general idea because
We can ask the guy who's just rocked up and
You can ask him.
If we walk past Neris' house, it's on the way.
Sure.
Can we stop and get our friends on the way?
Can we knock for Neris?
Are you going to ask him? Are you going to ask him?
Yeah.
I mean, we can go the long way, yes, of
I
course.
feel like every time we go to do something, shit's gonna go down.
Where did you say that your friend was?
The carpenter's shop.
Summerfall Carpenters.
Yes.
Yes. Unfortunately,
There's only one.
that's not the most direct route, but of course we can go by there. That's not a problem.
Yes, we just need to stop and get our friends to fill her in that we'll probably be leaving town.
I see. And perhaps you want another comrade in arms to join you in your epic adventure. If only I was able to do such adventure, but unfortunately we're short-handed here, and my place is here amongst the Hillberg. I digress. Let us go.
Yes, nobody asked.
You really didn't. He's a bit of a talker.
Is it Jack time if he's talking to himself?
That's exactly what Jack time is.
If the character is talking to himself.
No. That Jack time is when the rest of you aren't here, and I'm here on my own.
There are requirements for Jack time.
There's Jack time where it's different Jack characters talking to each other.
This is character sad
But
time.
Asim
That's
is talking to
lonely Jack
himself.
time.
So we've got
That's-
Jack time, so much Jack time. This suggests the existence of Jack time to the max.
Monologue time, monologue Jack time, mono Jack time. That sounds bad. Anyway,
Yeah.
you leave.
Moving
Moving on, you
We're
leave.
Jack
gonna
timing
stop
off.
by Neris' on the way.
You leave and
Thanks for
you
watching Smut and Dick.
Indeed.
you go by and you head towards the council chambers via the Summerfall Carpentry to pick up Neris. We're going to take a very quick break and we'll be back very shortly. And we are back. For the more eagle-eyed viewers amongst you, may have noticed that to my left, it's have to do it the opposite way because of the camera, it says about winning a free set of D&D dice. And you may think that's a mistake, that was up there last week. Well, in fact, no, it's not a mistake because we have a second competition to win free D&D dice courtesy of our friends at Beholder's Gaze. And I'm going to open this is now the devil set of dice. I'm going to open now.
Yeah.
Because we had the angel set last time. Now it's the devil set, which I'll show proudly for all of you today.
No entering.
Ooh, we got some nice. I'm going to angle this down. We've got some nice dark dice today. Ooh. It glitters. It's black and blue and glittery, and it's
by Satan's
lovely.
beard.
Oh, by Satan's beard. Those are the dice on offer for today, and this competition will be running throughout the week. We'll be announcing the winner during the stream, at the beginning of the stream next week. So if you'd like to be entered in the competition, all you got to do is, if you're watching us live on Twitch, just type in the word Beholder in the chat and make sure you're already following us to be entered into the draw. And James has done already. As well as the dice, you also win this artwork and stickers and devils and things, and it's all very much themed, all courtesy of Beholder's Gaze. Thank you guys for that. Beholder's Gaze, yes, with our second competition with them, so very much looking forward to that. And you can enter throughout the week as well if you miss out or you want to tell your friends about it, get them to enter. You can enter on our social media. Just follow us on social media, like, and then it's retweet on Twitter, it's share on Facebook, or it's just like if you're on Instagram. So there you go, a little plug for you there. I feel bad forcing to post it to France. It's okay. Our first competition was posted to Germany for Gina, who won our stickers. So we post all over the place. Anyway, so jumping back in, so you arrive at Summerfall Carpentry, and it seems to be a buzz of activity inside. You can see two figures hard at work upon the lathe and at the workbench through the windows. And I take it you're going to You're just going to walk straight in? Are you going to knock on the door? What are you going to do?
What?
At the carpenters.
Oh, yeah, we knock.
Knock at the door. Open the door and let you in. Thank you for entering, Jake Lazarus, to the competition already. Anyway, open the door, and in you see, you recognise Houndbane, Beholder. There we go. It's just brilliant. Thanks, Drake Lazarus. So as you, the door swings open, and you see, looking up from their workbench, you recognise Brynland Summerfall, the owner who you met when you dropped Neris off yesterday. He goes, and he without looking at,
so quick.
and at first when he gets up from the workbench, he hasn't looked at you yet, and he's just like, "Hi and welcome to Summerfall Cut. Hey, I know you guys. You were here with Neris, weren't you? Neris's friends, right?"
Yes, we are. We came to see if she was around.
Oh, sure. I'm sure we can get a hold of her. She wasn't feeling too well this morning, so Argenti had to bring breakfast up to her. But I'll see if she's feeling a little perkier now. And he's
every alarm bell that exists is just going.
Argentia! Argentia! Yes.
Fucking what? Oh yeah, of course. Sorry.
Neris's friends are here. Just wanted to see if she's available at all. She hasn't been feeling too well, but I can ask. Yeah, great. If you could do that, please. And then a minute or so goes by, and before you hear trudging of footsteps down the wooden steps to one side of the workshop, and down, and then coming towards you, you see Neris with her staff. She's looking a lot paler, a bit kind of blue in the face, looking a little bit peaky, but otherwise it's most certainly her. And she's like, "Hi, guys.
I'm like
the guy
super not great right
now. I'm totally not hot right now. Who's the?
Yeah, we apologise.
Who's the guy and the girl there?
This is our friend Howland of House Braun.
Cragmere.
I
wish I were a Brom.
He really does.
Ladies, don't call me out like that, lady.
And he is assisting us with our statue problem.
Oh, so have you guys heard more about that?
They've gone south to
Rundar.
They left town the
Before
day
we got
before we
here.
arrived.
Ah, shit. All right. So
Yes.
All those red flags dealt with. No, it's her.
so are you guys heading off to like go chase them down, or do you need firepower? Because I'm not feeling too great, but I got the staff still.
Yeah, we will be, but we're currently heading to the
Council of Pots.
the council in relation to the werewolf we killed in town. But if you're feeling up to it, we would appreciate some extra firepower.
For a meeting.
/ rat power.
Based on everything we've done, yes. And just for the after. People keep liking to ask us stuff, and I feel like we should just get some firepower beforehand.
For a conversation.
Can I do a
You've
medicine
seen how his
I
conversations
bet
Oh,
you
no.
5 gold. that we
Yes,
need
you
her
can
firepower.
make a medicine check.
I'll take that bet, sir.
5 gold, we need her
4.
firepower.
Done.
I mean, she's not looking too hot.
No.
Looks like she may have the flu or something similar, some sort of ailment for sure. But yes, although you never met this elf before, she's got very white skin, more so than you're used to. But for you guys, this is her skin tone generally. But as well as that's compounded by this kind of blue tinge as well. So it's quite unusual looking at this point.
Right.
Also, the thing that takes your attention straight away is she has
Okay,
red
Coffin Antarctica.
eyes.
Oh,
It's
okay.
a little bit intimidating to look
My
at.
lady, if you sought the help of a priest, perhaps you have the touch of death upon you.
I got Malar. That's all I need.
Does she still have the mark around her neck?
I hope you've been looking after my staff.
Yes.
This is normal.
What?
Normal's not a word we use in this company, but that's how Neris looks,
She's fine.
more or less.
Alright, okay.
Sometimes she's dripping a bit more than this, but that's
Dripping!
we shouldn't.
Dripping?
Let's not revisit that whole episode. That was
Oh.
really, but that's not a health complaint so much. Well, it's maybe not hers. I'll stop talking now.
I'm just surprised.
I'll stop talking.
I'm just surprised you're not already on fire.
Yeah. Malar is going to walk over. Miss Neris, would you mind if I try and just take your temperature there?
And she just looks shiftily at you as she did last time you tried this. Just kind of moves back.
Oh,
a bit.
I'm just
I
gonna-
won't hurt.
All right.
Big hand on top of her forehead, just
It's got magic powers and
She's
magic
feeling
hands.
particularly hot or cold.
Make a medicine check. I probably should have got rid of that.
Bro was a Lego character.
17.
I rolled
17.
legs.
Okay, so feeling the top of her head, she doesn't feel especially like she's got a fever. She doesn't feel particularly hot. Doesn't feel particularly cold. I mean, it doesn't seem too much out of the ordinary, her temperature at this point.
Okay.
She's faking it so she doesn't have to go to school.
Miss Neris, I would advocate that you spend a couple of days resting and, if need be, try and pursue us later. If we will let you know before we leave of our whereabouts and what's going on.
Hey, if you guys are leaving town, you better not leave without me.
I mean, we could be leaving in a hurry with everything that's going on. Hopefully today to follow through. Maybe she should come with us now.
Well, determined to take.
I want to leave town.
I've got stuff to do at the thing.
Do it.
What? We've got to have this conversation.
Is it going to take 2 days?
No.
Then let's go today.
Brucon's committed to meeting. I mean, he potentially might
Oh yeah.
be willing to skip out on it, but Brucon has made a commitment about
Cult meeting, yeah.
the Fairfan.
That's now it's now tomorrow that meeting would be.
Oh, is it not today?
No, it's
Not today.
Oh, we've got to stay for 2 days for that.
Jack's designed an entire town. We've got to fucking be here and explore it.
And then he really makes us go to the
I know.
What?
we want to.
Hey! I didn't make you do anything. This is the world that you are inhabiting. Forget me. I don't
The
exist.
quest arrow
I'm
says this
everyone,
way.
no one. There is an exclamation mark above this character.
He wouldn't have created 6 separate named characters for this place if it was insignificant. Would he? No. Anyway, yeah, no. Brucon's persuadable, but at the moment he's.
I'm on the vote of bringing Neris with us.
Let's bring Neris to this conversation at least.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm with Seth. I'll come along.
Cool.
Sure.
Come, well, let us go then.
Yeah, let's go.
Mal, do you mind if I just stick next to you though, because in case I.
Oh, that's quite all right. Yes.
All right. So, is it about time? Shall we continue on to the council chamber?
Yeah, we're ready.
Okay, if you'd like to follow me, yeah. And Asim leads you past the manufactory. You head on up these stone steps alongside. So to your right, you can see the carved sort of hillside with the fountain, with the face sort of the statue that's been made out of clay, where the water spurts out from the hill. You can see below that the basin, and in fact the market square where you had that encounter last night. He leads you up the steps. There is a tower to your left, made of white stone. Looks an older tower. But it's fallen into disrepair, and beyond that is the park. To your right is the largest structure within Hillberg, again white stone with sort of marble arches and stone columns that line the stairs leading up to the main entrance. It's kind of reminiscent of I want to say it's called the Parthenon. I think that's yeah. Similar feel to that kind of Grecian style. Yeah, and you are led up the stairs there. You're familiar with this because you went there yesterday, and the carriage is still parked out the front with the crest of House Bronn, which those of you who haven't seen it yet, the crest for House Bronn is a circle with black and brown check, and there's a grey silver hand on a dagger in the centre of it, but it's striking downwards. That's the symbol for House Bronn. 4-horse carriage. lead you on inside, and first thing you see coming from the left-hand doorway, which you were told yesterday goes to the garrison, you see Gant, Lord Gant appears looking slightly dishevelled, but just combing his hair. He's got a blonde comb over that he's very proud of, and he's sort of tending to that. And moments later you see the receptionist from behind the counter start to sort of appear also from that direction, and puts on her spectacles and just seems to be trying to tie her hair up into some kind of presentable fashion in a sort of bun behind her, and just heads straight on over to the reception looking slightly flushed, slightly embarrassed, and again just swaggers on over to you and goes, long time no see, Howland. So, what sort of time do you call this then?
Oh, I was just waiting for you to finish inspecting the troops, sir.
Oh, I've done some inspecting, all right, and everything I see is very good.
Gross.
So, I guess you want to.
Just awkward moment between me and Lainey, just staring at each other.
So I've been doing some digging, but first of all, we have been summoned to meet with the councillor. That's yourself and Lainey as well, I suppose. And who are these fine friends you've got with you?
Oh, no, not exactly locals, but adventurers.
Gant.
Dog killers mostly.
Oh
Gant,
no,
yeah.
that's just him.
Just him, right? Yes.
Hope no one puts him on a chart.
Yeah, they've been assisting and in filling me in on the Grenforth situation.
Ah, so you're the dog killer, I hear, Mr. We could use a man as the strong silent type. All right. Well, we could use a man with your skills in brawn. You know, as well as wolves. Obviously, they're not really a threat in brawn. They don't really move. But we do have many other dangers besides. But we could use a man with your sort of skills.
If we do wind up with the Quickfires, I'm going to be really interested to see these stationary wolves they have there.
Of course, you're a busy man, as am I. So, we're supposed to be meeting with the councillor, shall we?
Before we met with him, I was wondering if there's any information you had on the crest that I'd mentioned to you yesterday.
And he just kind of looks around the group that you're with.
They're trusted in this regard.
Yes, I have some information.
Right. Good.
Splendid.
And he just doesn't say anything more than that. He leaves it at that.
Very well, my lord. Not of me to ask any more. I'll join you presently.
It was most beneficial you pointing it out to me. Thank you for making me aware. Troubles with House Grenforth don't really concern House Bronn, but it's good to know what the neighbours are doing, you know. Anyway...
excuse me, this is a kidnapping of a lady. Are you really sure that this is of no consequence?
This is a Grenforth lady, it is not a Bronn lady. If it were a Bronn lady, I would be a lot more... Well, it wouldn't happen if it were a Bronn lady, first of all.
Oh, no, not at all, sir. You would be inspecting.
Not with such faithful shields of Bronn, and there are more besides this one, believe me.
I find your attitude in this matter calloused, so I am most
I'm sorry, Gant, Lord Gant Bronn.
I am Deacon Mal Shadecreek of the Hammerfern Institute of the Eight.
Well, it's very impressive, my learned, pious friend. Right, I see an eclectic bunch you've got here, Howland. Anyway, we have a meeting with the councillor, so we better be off. And he just leads you towards the councillor chambers to the right.
Where are we going?
Well, Asim just kind of beckons for you to go the same direction.
Just follow this guy.
Yeah, they start following. He just stops and goes, "Oh, are you
Yep.
We were summoned.
Oh, well, I wasn't aware of that. All right, right, follow me and lead you through. And I described this last week, but for the rest of you, because you didn't see that, so you're led through to the sort of, I guess it's the east wing of the council chambers. Got to remember directions here. And in that you see. So it's marble white flooring. It's very It looks like it's trying too hard. It's very expensive. It's very, very showy. There's various sort of statues with like fountains and like cupids with water pouring and all that sort of thing. A little pool of water just cut out in the centre. Banquettes, chaise lounge and the like lining the walls. And to the left there is one door, and on it says Governor Hendley. It's made of a fine English oak, so to speak. But it does have
Aiming
one.
off of the fact that there is no England.
There is no England. So it's made of a fine crowflies wood. Yes. Kind of a fine winter's forest wood.
Ooh,
there we are.
Cracking.
I clocked that one. Anyway.
I can see the map from here.
And you see Lord Gam swagger on over the door. Doesn't knock, just puts his hand on the handle and just yanks it open. Councillor Potter, I have arrived at your behest. And she says, yes, come on in. I'm afraid I've got a few guests with me, Councillor. They apparently have a meeting with you too. Yes, good. In fact, there's going to be a few of you. Perhaps we should convene outside. 1 second. And she then appears before you. Got this kind of strawberry blonde hair, very bright blue eyes. And she's wearing, rather than the dress you saw her in yesterday, today it's looking more formalised. It's more like a navy blue tailcoat that she wears. Okay. But it's well cut, it's fitted, with various sort of her lacy kind of sleeves of white just poking out of her undershirt. And anyway, she leads you over to a couple of banquettes in the corner, very comfy, soft seating. Sits you all down.
Just going to keep saying it.
Just going to keep saying banquettes. Winning.
Sounds like the best band ever.
Were you just making
banquettes are a thing.
No, banquettes are a thing.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
What challenge rating are
Well, of course.
Gazebo reference. The old ways.
I mean,
Wait, they're all mimics, aren't they?
it would depend if they're a mimic, yes. Anyway, she sits you down and seemingly isn't eaten.
I ready a dart to throw at the banquet.
And she just gracefully sits down lowers herself onto the banquet, and beckons for you all to sit and says, "So I hear that you were the ones to destroy the monstrosity that plagued our streets yesterday evening. Is that correct?"
Oh well.
Yes, we did. We killed Dead because we're great.
Excellent. Well, first of all, a massive. 1,000 thank yous from myself and from the citizens of Hilberg for your work. It is most appreciated. Interesting. Little sound effect there.
Pardon me.
Excuse me. Did you happen to identify who this werewolf was?
Oh, well, we believe it to be somebody by the name of Dean Fringe. We actually retained the body. He's currently in the Chapel of the Eight. I was going to undertake a very brief interrogation with Ventrix to say.
Dean Fringe. Dean Fringe. Remind me, who? Dean Fringe, do you know? Yes, he was a courier. He sometimes does work, I believe, in town and in the market square. But he has been missing for some time. He's been flaunting his wares, apparently, recently. And apparently, yes, he was in fact the werewolf. I see. Does he have a residence in town? Yes, I believe so. Right, well, first thing, he, I believe, has been a denizen of this town for some years, and I don't believe he's been a werewolf all that long, so obviously something has befallen him. I would like you to inspect his premises, if you could, to see how he could have contracted this disease. You have permission from myself, therefore the town guard will not give you any trouble in doing this.
Just shout it out. Give me my fat gold.
She hasn't lit up yet.
Yeah, I said it's going to lead to it.
If you could do this and find any information you can on his recent movements, and perhaps any clue as to what caused this lycanthropy, this disease to befall him, I'd be greatly appreciated.
Do we still need information regarding the kidnappers? Because they've already left. There's no more information we can get, is there?
It depends on if we can find anyone. I mean, there must have been staying somewhere when they were around, but
Very true.
Can we? There's no harm in at least verifying what we've already heard.
Yeah.
Now let's launch into the tale of why we're in town and mention about Lady Renforth, this statue. Has anybody seen anything that you're aware of? Any other dealings with people from?
I'm afraid that is beyond my knowledge. All sorts of items come in and out of the market square. Asim, I don't suppose you've noticed that. I'm afraid a statue is like trying to find a needle in a haystack.
It's quite a bit bigger than a needle.
The statue.
I see you are the brains of the outfit.
And it looks like Lady Helene Grenforth.
I'm afraid we do not know much of the nobles of the Blowflies. They have not graced us with their presence very recently. In fact, it is very rare for a town such as Hilberg to have entertained such guests. It is an honour, of course, that Lord Gantbron has appeared. It is a most welcome but unexpected visit. Yes, I am afraid Asim is correct. There is not we unfortunately are a rather small town. We don't appear to get a lot of noble guests here, my friend. Which is why, at a time like this, with your arrival, Sir Bron, Lord Bron, I apologise. That we would have the fact that we have such an esteemed guest visiting us, and we have a werewolf outbreak around the same time is troubling, and that's why I would like you to look into this.
When you think about it, is one werewolf really an outbreak?
Well, what we know of werewolves, they spread disease, and where there is one, more may follow.
Interesting question. Which implies that it would be useful for us to know a little more about Mr. Fringe's associations.
Indeed.
And social calendar.
Asim?
Well, it seems like you're sort of.
I am the man on the ground, if you like. We know that Dean Fringe he is a courier, he is a freelancer, so he does sometimes go to other settlements on deliveries and so on. He had an ox and cart which he recently sold. He bought some items from Bits and Pieces, of which he does sometimes do some work for. He was a sometime courier for the gnomes of Bits and Pieces, but other than that, he trades in the market square, and he has. Other than that, he has not been a notable individual.
Yes, we're aware of all of those parts already.
I am sorry I couldn't have graced you with more lucrative information.
The sale of an ox cart. Is that something that might come with perhaps any kind of paperwork?
I would have thought so. Yes, of course that would have been between both parties of the exchange, and if Dean has sold the cart, then of course yes he would. Unless he is as bad a bookkeeper as I suspect he may be, he may well have a receipt on his premises, if not on his person.
It wasn't on his person. Did we check his clothes?
No, when I appeared, he was in fact naked as the day he was born.
Did we check his clothes?
We have his clothes still.
Yeah, did we check them?
We got the ring out of it, didn't we?
Yes, you did.
That was sort of laying with them, so it wasn't like in his pocket or anything.
Yeah, but I don't think we searched the pockets. No, I think you're right.
We've searched them, but we'll head to his house and search that as well then.
Oh, we've got a treasure miner stock here for this guy, so yeah.
Oh, yeah, if you let us lead us the way to his house, we'll...
I'm sure, yes, Asim will lead you to his premises at once. My Lord Bron, could I have a moment? Thank you for your time. I'm sorry, I didn't get your names.
Oh, well, I am Deacon Malashade Creek of the Hammerfern Institute of the Eight. Pleasure to meet you.
And to you, my Loxodon companion.
Seth.
To the point, I like it.
Leobrin. Just Leobrin.
I'm afraid I don't speak Elvish.
Brook-on-Ree, the Barkfang Monastery.
Oh, of the Barkfang Monastery, this is quite far south you have come, but it is a pleasure to meet one of the monastic order.
Because does the sort of thing which, by the way, everyone in the party stares at him as he does this because they've literally never seen him do that gesture before.
And as you do that, you do hear in your head,
Use it once an episode.
Got to use it once an episode. That's our quota filled for that.
Leobrun has put out that his stumble was mocked and Brooklands was not.
But that's because you don't have a gun.
True.
The gun
And,
explains everything.
Yes.
And you, my tiefling companion, it is an unusual colouring. I have not seen a turquoise one before.
Thank you. Yes, I'm Fleeting Look. I am Seth's +1 to this endeavour, and I heard there would be a medal.
These are all facts.
Did you leave your
Very
zone of
good.
truth running? Because he's just spit 0 lies.
Make a persuasion check with disadvantage.
No.
19 and a 2.
Oh.
6.
I'm afraid you have been misinformed. We are not in the business of giving medals. If you would wish to partake in some games where trophies are what you're after, then perhaps you would best head on to Roomdar. And you, my peaky companion, Neris. I just fixes a look at her. Right. Well, anyway, Tarquin Potter. A pleasure to meet you.
So, was this a guy or a gal?
I
girl.
thought it was
A girl, but she's called Tarquin.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay, good. Because I was happy. What?
Yeah.
What?
I was like, that's a girl. That's a girl. That's a girl. Tarquin. What?
I mean, it could be in this. Well, it is.
This is
In fact, in
fantasy,
this
in
world,
fantasy land.
Tarquin is a gender neutral name.
Yeah.
There's a little Fintim Limbim Wimbim Quimbim Wimbim Bim Bim Fatang Ole Biscuit. Sorry, that's a Monty Python restaurant reference, but one of the more obscure ones. But anyway,
You should see some from
I am now
Fleeting's
headcanoning her middle name is her middle name as Fintim Wimbim Limbim Quimbim Wimbim Wimbim Bim Bim Fatang Ole Biscuit Barrel.
Can we,
Could well
Monty
be.
Python.
Can we leave?
Yes, a scene leads you out.
It's not a real D&D session.
So you're left
Yeah.
with Lord Bronn.
Yeah.
Uh,
Niche reference.
so,
Bloody great one right now. Mate.
of course, the preparations have been made so that we may disembark towards Rackfell Manor for this banquet. We should be. I want to get this investigation dealt with first of all, but we are due to leave before sundown tonight.
I understand.
Tell me, Queen.
Don't speak for me, Howland. Yes, we are ready whenever you should need. Out of interest, this meeting that I will be attending, along with my retinue, esteemed figures that will be appropriating this event. Are there any that you would recommend that we talk to? Well, given your goals, as far as I'm aware, you would want to. I believe there'll be a representative from the Rumbleguts merchant family. There should also be some.
Yeah.
One of the guilds from Isk, I believe, will be making an appearance. Aside from that, it's mostly other governors and councillors from other provinces throughout Burekrin. I'm sure you will have more than a few that you can politic with, my friend. Very good. Well, in the meantime, I suppose we're pretty much ready to go, are we not?
At your behest, my lord.
Right. Well, if that's the case, then I see no reason why. As long as you're back here before we depart, Sir Howland, I trust you not to get into too much trouble.
Oh no, wouldn't dream of it.
You can follow your friends if you wish.
I will.
When I'm through, he's like, they're not my friends.
Just and he leads you out and says, "Councillor," and exits the room with you. And Laney says, just quietly to one side with you, but just don't talk too much about our interests in the area.
My lord.
Subtlety is bronze watchwords, and you know this.
Of course. I wouldn't want to cause any kind of doubts in that matter.
Very good. But I shall need you to hand if things get a bit hairy at the banquet.
Right.
On you go.
Thank you, my lord. they can hear you. Just want to do a quick little check on Laney.
Sure.
Is she checking on
do to parents?
Councillor Potton's frock coat at all.
Is she checking on?
In any
Checking
kind of
out.
interests. I don't know what my daughter likes. I just want to see.
Oh, no, mine.
So, she as you exit from the council chamber, Lainey kind of tugs on your arm. She says, "Dad, could you get me a coat like that?"
Lenny, I wouldn't be able to. You're training to be a squire. You wouldn't wear a coat like. Oh, I'll see what I can. I'll see what I can do.
Great, thanks, Dad.
But make sure your armour's always polished. Remember.
Oh, sure. I made sure yours was ready to go this morning. Before I had my bath. I don't know if you noticed.
I did.
It's it's a bit shiny, just the way you like
press-on
it.
spell. It was very, very good.
Good. Right. Where I guess. Oh, there they are. Our friends. Shall we follow them?
Aye. Let's follow.
So you catch up with the rest of you, who are being led by a scene. You're led, actually, funny enough, it's not far away from the carpentry. It's only a couple of doors down. This looking somewhat dilapidated wooden shack.
While we're on the way to do that, Malar will casually mention we do have the body, and Ventrix has offered to prepare a spell. We would be able to question the body if need be. Do you want to do that before or after we...
I'm sorry, question the body?
Oh, sometimes it is used to give the deceased, the next of kin of the deceased, the opportunity to effectively say their goodbyes. It is a minor ability that those with the 8 possess. I myself do not. I am but a lowly deacon.
Its head was kind of destroyed. How's it going to talk to us?
This seems very dark magic.
My friend, this is merely giving people the opportunity to say goodbye. There is no lasting effects. It is a very short term.
Corpse talk.
Oh no. Well, I am not, but my friend is.
It's not got much of a mouth left. It's gonna be.
Brucon's sitting there observing all of this going on. Normally it's Brucon who's getting all the grief about the logical inconsistencies of the belief system. It's like looking in a mirror.
It's kind of dark making a corpse speak. It's like having
Mr. Seth, we have had a conversation regarding the use of dark magics.
Yeah,
Let me
you
assure
can use
you.
it.
Let me assure you that this is not one of those.
He will turn this party around if
But how is it going to talk without the mouth?
You caved in the top of its skull. The jaw was still attached.
Neris kind of nudges into you and goes, "I'm into it. Let's go."
Oh, thank you, Miss Neris.
Oh, Miss Oates, actually, well, I bought some clothes from the shop. They were second hand. Would you mind mending the holes that I've got? This is
Sure.
That's the only reason I brought her around.
and then he's all that work, and then you blew it up on the camera.
She goes to reach her hand out and she just starts coughing now to cover her throat.
Coughs phlegm all over your clothes.
And she puts her hand over it. You can see that she's trying, but nothing appears to be happening.
Oh,
Maybe
Miss Neris, are you okay?
Sorry, I don't know what's going on. Like, my powers don't seem to be working right now.
I thought you'd always had your powers.
I know, this is why it's weird.
I've
still got the staff, and I'm sure this works because I tried it.
Miss Neris, you seem to be suffering somewhat. Let me just hold above our shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
I'll burn my second level spell of the fucking day and give her lesser restoration.
And you do so, and you see this sort of magic coalesce around her form. The light of Festia, this kind of warm golden brown around her. Then it dissipates, and she still doesn't look great.
Can I hold a bit more on my jacket with another hole? Want to try again?
Nothing. She can't do it. She almost falls over and has to lean onto her
This is
staff.
just starting to look like taunting her misfortune now, Seth. Honestly.
Yeah. Sorry, I was checking to see how if Mallard had been able to cure her.
I'm sorry.
I believe you.
Maybe tomorrow.
Sure.
Miss Neris, maybe you should go and lie down for a spell.
Sure. All right. I'm only a couple of drawers down, I guess.
No idea how much effort it took not to take that bait.
when she starts Leo, I'm going to ask Leo, like, Leo, can you see if her magic is okay?
I can give it a try. Miss Neris, if you don't mind.
Sure. Giving off the general aura that she normally does.
Sorcery.
It's not honed into one school of magic because she's a sorcerer, but it's just generic,
She
just
is
magic
a
emanating from her. Yeah.
Magic.
It's the same stuff.
Source.
Oh yeah. No, I mean because it was always because she's a sorcerer. She has access to all the schools, so she emanates no particular school in particular.
Access to all the schools, but she prefers the school of evocation.
Yes, but there's no one in particular that stands out. You can just see that she has a magical aura around her.
Wellspring of magic.
I mean, on that front, you're technically okay.
I don't know what it is. Like,
Do you want to go rest, or do you want to assist us?
maybe I'll go have a lie down.
Can Brucon attempt to divine some misalignment in her key or some feng shui bullshit of that?
Right.
Does Brucon have some feng shui bullshit to drop in?
Wait.
Can I
She's
insight
full
check
elf, yeah?
Mm.
Elves get older slower than people. She's going through changes.
Can
Jesus.
I insight check her?
Yeah, you can insight.
Brucon runs.
Whoa!
Fucking
You said we never
magical
insight check,
elven
haven't we?
puberty. Brucon is fucking
Why are you
pacing out of this.
If you're going
I
to do the
sprang-
talk, can
I
Lady
can't tell
sit
you
in
what I'm
with
rolling.
that as well?
Oh,
Mate.
like
2 for
5.
1.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally like 5. That was terrible.
Okay, so from what you can tell, she seems not in her best form, but she's.
But is this elf puberty?
I mean, as far as Seth's concerned with that role, he's like, yeah, it's probably just time of the month or something.
I mean,
Shark Week.
Leo has his entire life with elves.
Well, if she wants to go rest in the house while we investigate this house, maybe
You can make a medicine check if you like.
Oh, great.
By the way, guys, we're fucking dead.
Natural 20!
Damn, bro.
So
We all have to leave the room.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that's a 0 on modifier. Let's have a look.
Yeah, but
It's a
seriously,
20.
we're marking
It's a
this back
20.
fucking
It's a 20.
dead.
Why is it not loading? Yeah, come on. D&D Beyond doesn't sponsor this show.
Hey, do you
Yeah, it's a
know who
20.
it is?
It's a 20.
It's just a straight
It's just
20.
A 20.
Okay.
Natural 20.
It's fancy.
Another Drake Ladger says, "What's that? Another natural 20 rolled off camera? Interesting." You're quite right, but I observed it. It was a natural 20.
All natural, baby.
So with that 20, so yes, observing her, for all intents and purposes,
dice.
she looks like the epitome of unwell. Casting your hand over her as Malar did, she doesn't feel particularly hot or particularly cold. It doesn't appear to be an obvious fever.
It's clammy.
Yeah, clammy, and you're kind of worried that
I try and find something to wipe my
you're
hand
you're
on.
kind of
Eventually, you
The thing
settle
that-
for Brucon.
the thing that strikes you is because it's not obvious what the problem is. You're concerned it
Mostly
might
dressed in
be
towels, right?
Yeah.
perhaps something more serious, but you
But
don't
not-
have that
it's
knowledge of
not
where
elf
medicine to know.
puberty.
No, it's not elf puberty. You can rule that out, 100%. Anyway, she goes, "I'll just be at the carpentry. If you guys grab me before you go."
Yeah.
Ms. Neris, you should go stay. I insist at this point. Everybody stop harassing and
She meekly just kind of nods and heads back towards the carpenters. So, meanwhile, the rest of you, you're outside this dilapidated, ramshackle-looking shack, essentially, made of wood. It's not much to look at on the outside, but as Asim tries it, the door is locked. Unless anybody objects, I would perhaps suggest we break this down.
I'll attempt to lock the door with the lockpicks.
Oh, of course, if you can, my friend.
7 plus efficiency plus dex, isn't it? Add?
Yep.
Yeah, so 13.
13 is exactly what you needed. So with that,
Brucon was about to cock his fists.
We don't.
Every time. Fucking Henry Cable. Not needed.
Anyway, yes, with a click after a little while, you unlock the door and it swings freely open. And Asim just kind of looking at you and goes, "You wouldn't happen to Never mind. Go on through. So, are you heading inside?
No, I'm staring at him.
No.
He wants to kiss you.
Again.
Roll a 17.
17.
No. No. It's not that kind of.
You go in and lean, he's like, whoa. Nope.
Like, I know this look, mate.
No, it doesn't seem to be that. He's looking at you. He's looking at you rather quizzically and suspiciously for a moment. Then he just kind of shrugs it off and brings this kind of cheeky smile back and beckons you all inside and says, "I will take post outside in case any of my fellow guardsmen show up. But see what you can find."
We go in.
Okay, inside. So the house is very cluttered. It's fairly sparse. There is a kind of hastily put together, it looks like, made of offcuts of wood table, so slightly kind of askew. And upon it there is one scroll that is just a parchment that is just unfurled, so you can see there is writing upon it. Elsewhere, there you can see kind of a kitchen area towards the back wall, which again it's got remnants of fruit and vegetables scattered about. It looks like it hasn't been cleaned in weeks. He's clearly was quite a slob in his domestic life. There's also a clay flask on the table as well, which appears to have some kind of wine in it. It's about half full. Aside from that, that's all you can see in this room. But there is a door on the back wall adjacent to where the kitchen is.
The door did it.
There was the door. Damn the door. Yeah, just behind which is currently closed.
Can I specifically look for a pair of shoes?
Okay, yes, you can make an investigation check.
Are you walking around barefoot at the moment?
No.
He's missing shoes.
What was it, sorry?
Investigation.
16.
So are you checking out the living room, or are you going through or are you doing the bedroom? Which room?
The first room we come into.
So that'll be the open living area, sure.
Left by the door or anything.
Okay, so you don't find any shoes. What you do find,
I'm basically looking for boot to speed.
what you do find in this room, what you find a little bit disconcerting, but it makes sense with what you've discovered. Bits of wool and blood stains are kind of screwed up inside some disposed clothes, which are just kind of they're inside one of the cupboards under the kitchen counters. No shoes that you find, unfortunately, in this room anyway.
We really should have given that ring to someone to attune to overnight.
But yes, there is a open scroll of parchment on the table.
I would like to take a look at that.
Okay, sure. Okay, so on this scroll it says, and looks like in fine calligraphy, it says, "Take this wine to the kitchen of Lord Belvedere at Rackfell Manor. The other half of the payment will be kept for you at the Miner's Arms. Tell Hogarth that Fang sent you."
I'll watch this later and write it all down.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I will write it down and give it to you.
Yeah,
Not a problem. Yeah, and yeah, next to it, as I said, there's a clay pitcher with half full with wine.
What do you say? Just take this wine to some guy.
Yes.
There's one to a guy, go to this pub, say that Fang sent you.
So take the wine to Rackfell Manor. The other half of the payment will be kept at the Miner's Arms.
I would like to have a big old sniff of the wine.
Make a perception check, and because you're sniffing, you get advantage.
Natural 20.
Oh boy!
I'll just roll again because I can.
17. That's,
So sniffing is going to be 20 plus another 3. So 23.
And because you breathe in poison, make a constitution save.
What are the tasting notes?
On smell, so on sniffing the wine, the first fragrance you get from it, you recognise it as a wine that you guys had some of yourself back in Half-Rage. It's a Goodbury wine. What you don't anticipate, though, is the after smell that, on closer inspection, it's a bit more subtle odour underneath that. It seems to be, it's slightly strange. It's got a strange odour that's not what you would have expected from the fragrant wine. And then as you examine when you pour a bit of the wine out just to see what it looks like. It's slightly more opaque and cloudy than the Goodbury wine you had in Halfrage was.
Rackfall Manor and Lord Belvedere, are they the names of people at the banquet that I would be attending?
Make a history check.
Okay.
Because you're not Gambron, you're going to have to make a check just in case.
History was it?
Yeah. Which I believe you're proficient in because you're from the Crowflies, and he's got the Crowflies Bannerman background.
That is an 11.
11. Well, 10 was enough for you. So with 11, you recognise that actually Lord Belvedere and Rackfell Manor is the location of the banquet. Lord Belvedere is the one holding it.
Right. Okay, he's the host.
So yeah.
Is it safe to assume that Malar's expression as he sniffs out the wine is it right?
Oh, Mr. Brucon, you seem to have a head for such things. This isn't appropriate for...
That back work has paid off.
Yeah, baby. This isn't appropriate for this, is it? Is it not?
Yeah.
Show you
I don't know. Let's find out. Bear with me a moment. And Brucon gives it the full oonologist run through. Inspection, sniff, checks for veins, gives it a little swill.
Sure.
What was that?
Oonologist. Professional wine taster.
It's worth
Unagi.
That, brewer supplies.
Yeah.
Brewer
So,
supplies,
yeah.
yeah. Okay, so I will say then for this check, there are a couple of skills that are applicable.
Mm-hmm.
Which one would you like to... What skill would you like to use for this one?
I'm going to say acrobatics, but I'm
No.
willing to be talked out of acrobatic. No.
Don't talk about it.
You start juggling the wine.
Of the ones Brucon
Specific
is, of the ones
gravity is
Brucon's of the ones Brucon's packing that are any cop, medicine seems the most desirable and applicable.
Okay, sure, yeah, so you can do a medicine check and you can add, I will say, for this one then, so medicine is intelligence. So
medicine's
Oh, it's wisdom. Okay, yeah. You can either make a medicine check or you can make a wisdom check and add your proficiency in brewer supplies if it makes a difference.
It does make a difference. Being able to add proficiency improves the results, so I'll do that.
No, as in straight wisdom plus brewer supplies or medicine if you...
So what do I get for
Are
the
you proficient in medicine?
Are you proficient in
No.
medicine? Oh, you're not? Okay, so yeah,
Brewer's
we'll do
better.
wisdom plus brewer supplies. Go for it.
Okay. So Brucon pulls out the the retorts and everything, and starts doing kind of little So someone who up until this point has exclusively appeared to be interested in punching things and doing backflips and stunts suddenly turns into Zach Galifianakis from The Hangover, and rolls the following check. 7. That was a terrible roll.
7. All right. So you inspect the wine, looking for the clarity.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see it. It appears straight away that it's been caught because of the cloudiness.
Yeah.
It's not. That's not right. Swirl it around, get a little glass, and it's running, and you hold it up to the light. And anyway, you then try a little bit. Can you make a Constitution saving throw?
Can.
It's just a little bit.
Is it
that you're
again,
trying.
and this is against being poisoned?
It's not poison. Unfortunately.
That is unfortunate.
It tastes like it.
Alright, fuck it.
You die. It wasn't poison.
Okay, no, that was decent. 17.
It was acid.
17.
It's a
Yeah,
dragon.
cool. So, you
Brucon, not good, unless it counts, apparently. That
So,
seems to be the consistent thing. Here.
being that this is a foreign substance, this is not any Goodbury wine that you've ever seen before, you're quite cautious in your tasting of it. You just take a little bit to your lips, just a little bit so it touches your tongue, and straight away it's sour. It doesn't taste like good wine at all, and you instinctively spit it out immediately on the floor.
Yeah.
Fortunately, not on anyone's shoes, but the sheer sort of convulsion that you do it with, the immediacy of it, you could have easily, it's horrible. There's something.
You're not going to do it like Triple H style, where they kind of create this fine mist that everyone else inhales.
There's something not right about it. In fact, there's something kind of irony, like blood, and not good.
Blood wine.
Definitely not Goodbury.
Could it have any tie to lycanthropy?
You just say he's becoming a werewolf.
Oh, right. Was it Constitution?
Yeah.
Yes, it was Constitution.
Okay. Ah.
What is your professional assessment of that, Mr. Brucon?
I'll give it a 1.5 out of 10. That's been generous. Definitely, bear with me.
I apologise.
I have a process here. You can't rush art. So, very poor on the nose, and generally speaking, I wouldn't recommend this to anyone under any circumstances. Not even my worst enemy, and I have to tell you, I think there's a reasonable chance that it has some kind of unsavoury effect on a person whose constitution is insufficiently fortified with years of doing this. I can't rule out the possibility that this, in fact, is what caused our friend Mr. Fringe to become a lycanthrope in the first place.
So this container we found it in is a...
It's just a clay pitcher. It
It's
is
half full.
half full, yeah.
So if he had half and he's not had a chance to take it to someone, that means that someone was trying to turn someone else into a werewolf, not him.
Yeah.
Who was it that the note said to take it to?
It said to take it to Lord Belvedere at Rackfell Manor.
Who on earth takes money to supply a drink to someone, underhanded drink to someone, and goes, I should drink that. It's definitely not poison.
Stupid
He
people.
might have just thought it was like really good wine that's not meant for peasants
He's
like
a
him.
courier.
Yeah.
He's not a good one, but he's a courier.
I think the whole point of couriers is they definitely don't eat or
There's no
drink.
Deliveroo in this world. They can't get refunds if it comes half drunk.
Just turns up half gun. There's your fucking wine.
The experience. So if that happened and then your delivery rider turned into a werewolf, imagine the world we'd be living in right now.
I ordered a nice pair of shoes off Amazon, and the courier turned up wearing them, and then walked away.
And it was a werewolf.
2 stars.
I wasn't sure if that was a true story.
I have seen and heard worse from some couriers.
I mean, I saw Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. The shit he did at the start of that film.
Can we take a look around the rest of the house, or like upstairs?
Yeah. Make it. There's no upstairs. It's just a one floor.
So
There's that other door.
Yeah. Can we go
Yeah,
through
sure.
that?
It's open and it appears to lead into an equally messy bedroom. Yes, even messier than the one that wasn't made at the Flaming Jacks. Why did I forget the name?
Can we check through this room?
Yes, you can make an investigation check, and I'll say others are helping you to get
I will
advantage.
give you guidance as well.
I'm
Use that
tiptoeing
one.
through this room.
I'll say you don't have to help.
I'm
him.
staying
Somebody else
away
can
from
help.
One day someone will need it. And I will be there.
pinging. I'm pinging the room.
Investigation, 18, 19, 22.
Lovely.
Just fold in the clothes.
22. So you have a quick look under. You look underneath the bed. Nothing really to speak of under there. Obviously, you're looking for shoes in particular, but none under there. You venture, lift the sheet up, just a little bit unsavoury. Body hair. There's a worn, if expensive-looking wardrobe to one side, and you open this up, and there's. This is where you see. This is what he's been spending the money on. There are a collection of expensive and fashionable silks and fur items that, yes, wouldn't look out of place in, for instance, the general store that you visited yesterday. Upon looking at them, you would estimate they're probably worth around 150 gold pieces, all these items. And there's one other item at the bottom.
Where did all this come from?
A magnificent green velvet boots, a pair of.
Okay, I'm gonna pick up the boots and I'm gonna go to the other room. Leobrin, can you sense any magic on
I've
these?
been pinging the whole building.
Mr. Magical Divining Rod.
So, not only the shoes, but everything else in the room.
The only magical item in the vicinity are the shoes.
Those are definitely magic of the...
I don't know which school this would
Enchantment.
be.
If it's
It's enchantment.
If it's the boots of velocity.
They're from the
That'll
speed
do.
school.
Yeah.
Speed school.
They're from the speed school.
Are they red with like a white stripe in the middle?
Bill Flames.
Maybe make you go faster.
Yeah.
But so I think we found the magical shoes that he bought as well as the ring now, and there's a lot of nice clothes around the back in there as well. But that seems to be it.
There is, sorry, one last thing I missed. There is a small knife buried into the wall opposite the bed, and from it is a very small writ. There's a remnant of a piece of parchment, but unfortunately there is nothing else attached. It's just a bit of paper. There was once something there.
Did you say you could find stuff with a spell?
It is. Yes, I have that available to me if I meditate on it after something of a long rest.
So I'll take the dagger.
Another way. I did.
How's the dagger
I
look?
burned all the
Crap
slots.
dagger.
It's it's not even a dagger. It's just a knife. It's just a little knife.
I'll leave that to the side. The parchment. Is there anything written on it at all?
No, none at all. It's a very small fragment of parchment.
Oh, okay. I'll take the fragment of the parchment, but it doesn't match with the letter on the table, does it?
No. I mean, it's still parchment, but that looks very, very much intact.
Oh, okay.
Alrighty then. So.
Gonna give that small bit of parchment to Mala because you said you could track stuff.
Oh, I'm not so much tracking. I'm able to locate objects that I'm familiar with using the guidance of the eight. Up to a certain range.
Maybe you have to find who left this note. If someone's left it here, knife in a wall, kind of threatening.
It's something I could try tomorrow.
Can I try and look for any other scrolls or any bits of parchment?
You can make an investigation check.
Can I also roll for Lainey?
Hmm?
Can I roll for Lainey?
I'll roll for Lainey.
To a crime scene.
She's on training on the job.
Yeah, it's adventure and training.
This is
It's a 7 from me.
This is
She got a
olden
13.
times.
Great.
Fantasy olden times.
So you turn over, you open all the cupboards, have a rummage around, start dusting for prints. Doesn't appear to be any more parchment, unfortunately.
Okay.
1 time forward, 2 hours, everything is white.
But no, it seems after Seth has been round in his sort of tirade of investigation, he seems to have picked it clean.
Right, maniacs click about.
So with that, I'm guessing at this point you've finished investigating. There's nothing left in the building. You've checked the entirety of this shack.
Yep.
Asim, as you go outside, so what did you find? Anything of interest at all?
Now we'll have re-stopped at the clay picture and we'll take that with. And I will shake that and, we believe this might be the cause of the lycanthropy. So long as nobody drinks it, we should be fine, I suppose.
Oh, somebody spiked the punch, eh? This is not very good at all.
I think it's
Rukon
fine.
looks at his fists like,
Spikes.
Yes.
this changes everything. just carries on.
Are you not familiar with punch daggers? Are they not a thing at the monastery?
No, it's,
Unfortunately, those are very offensive weapons, and if you did have them, we would have to confiscate them, of course. But alas, I talk too much. So you believe this is the cause? And anything else that you find?
Mr. Seth, did you find anything else?
Just that parchment stabbed into the wall. So someone's left a threatening message there. But
You can make it.
I was going to say.
what am I receiving?
Boots
You found the boots and the.
I told
and the
everyone
clothes.
here.
Oh no, but you're telling him.
Oh right.
Or are you telling him about
I
it?
mean, you can tell him if you want.
I wasn't deceiving. I was just letting him stuff. 17.
17. Okay, yeah. He doesn't suspect anything. Carry on.
We could go and briefly question Mr. Fringe.
I mean, all lines of inquiry would make a thorough investigation, so this would be welcome.
Super want to see how you're talking to a corpse. So yes, Seth is on board. He's going to see a corpse.
I am uncomfortable with this, but I will watch from a distance.
Would you fuck me, John?
Right!
Malal leads the way.
Yep, and Asim accompanies
I'm just imagining it would
the
get something.
7 of you as you head on over, because Laney's with you.
Yeah.
Over
The
to...
Oberon's going to have the sort of... when something is just so disgusting and you sort of just have to scrap it and burn it?
Yeah.
He's doing the Fey Pact Waller version of that. So I'm going to grab a couple of, flower seeds from outside, plant seeds, and I'm going to chuck them into the really dirty room. And then I'll druid craft them so they'll, pop and start growing.
So some lavender, you know what they are,
I'm
so
just
they're
going
fragrant
to
flowers.
I'm just going to send the room back to nature.
Like a Glade plug-in.
And with that, you see a couple of.
Literal Glade.
Essentially, you throw,
Actually, yeah, I'm
essentially
plugging a Glade.
you throw some potpourri into the room.
Yeah. We'll come back to this village.
Some
Druid
lavender
craft.
starts
So
sprouting.
useful.
Several months later, and that house will just be a tree.
Yeah.
Great.
Much
A
like
new
Bits and
park.
Pieces has a tree growing out.
Yeah.
All right, so you head on over across town to the Temple of the Eight, which you recognise from before. It's opposite to the council chambers, just on the east side of town. As you enter inside, you see the familiar. I don't think you were here for this, but the what do you call it? The mural on the back wall of the sort of orangey golden sun illuminated stained glass window that's illuminated with the light, and the stream running down the centre of the room and fleeting. This brings back very happy and very recent memories for you, and in fact so does the clientele as you see the head of the black head of of your dragonborn companion of Rexland Swordclaw, who is kneeling before the altar in prayer, and Ventrix is sort of to one side, attending to his flock. And see, upon you entering, Ventrix immediately turns to you and goes, "Well, hello, and welcome back, my friends. Good to see you again."
I keep forgetting. Forgetting.
Shut down!
Disappointed! Anyway. Mr. Shade Creek, Deacon Shade Creek, I apologize. You here for the, to converse with the, departed.
Anything at this fucking point, yeah.
Alright.
Pretty fun.
Yes.
Touchdown brings me round again to fun.
As soon as Mr. Rexline is finished with his meditations, we will take the floor.
I would like to take this opportunity to just converse with my colleagues. I'll turn to the rest of you. We get 5 questions. I propose that they will be the following. I've allowed some space, but who gave you the wine? What was on the parchment embedded in using a knife in your wall? Who purchased your oxen carts? And then we have 2 additional questions that I would figure we could ad-lib based on responses retrieved.
Are we super set on doing this in character? Because I've got some commentary, but it's not super Bruconi commentary.
Okay.
So basically, I can't remember off the top of my head how Speak with Dead works in terms of. I don't think it's not the kind of genie thing where you've got like wording it correctly gets you somewhere better off or not. Because who gave you the wine? If they're gonna,
they're allowed to lie.
Yeah.
So basically, you have to sort of convince them they can trust you. Otherwise, they're going to be like, not telling.
Yeah.
Or
Should we
it
not
was your
have
mum.
Yeah.
The killer in the room?
I'm not sure how perceptive corpses are.
Trauma.
So obviously, if he
Just starts
Oh,
screaming.
yeah, he has no eyes.
My head.
Answers are usually brief, cryptic, or repetitive.
yes,
Okay.
he's
he
not going
could-
to have the same intelligence as before you caved
If
his
he
head
could
in.
repeat the answer, that would be great. Who gave me the wine? This guy.
But so I've got those 3 as my
So
baseline.
Yeah,
it's
no,
not,
It's
who
not
gave
under
you
any
wine?
compulsion to tell the truth either.
Yeah.
Can you cast so much? Oh, yeah.
No, I've done it on my second level.
Okay, so then it might
On
be worth.
character.
Is the point about convincing them that you're on their side a genuine thing?
Well, that's the thing. They have the same personality as they did before they died. So they're under no compulsion to tell the truth. So if you went up to a criminal and said, "Where did you get this stuff? Why were you doing the crimes?"
Their
By the way,
inclination would be to go, "I'm not gonna."
we're glad we killed you.
Yeah, I may be dead, but I'm not a grass. Would be
Yeah.
the reaction there.
Yeah, or
Okay.
fuck you guys, you killed me.
Yeah.
Should we get somebody who knows, like the woman from the shop?
That's an interesting shout.
Would they
The thing I was
be
wondering was
conscious
about
of
adding
what
one
they
in
were doing
about
as well?
how do we find your killers?
Equally good question.
Oh wait a minute, we're the
Valid
killers.
point.
Yeah.
Oh!
Whoops.
They might just remember drinking some wine and then blacking out.
How-
Meta knowledge? No, they wouldn't.
I was saying, would it be helpful to establish our intent by asking a question about how
No,
to find his
they
killers
would
and then
if
remember
they
that that's
chose to
us?
embrace being a werewolf. They
Yeah,
would
but
retain
they
their
would-
memories.
Oh, okay.
If they chose to embrace it and went chaotic evil,
Right.
which is a big jump
Should we go ask someone from the shop?
for a
One
criminal.
question?
For a courier.
Drake Lazarus would like to weigh in, saying, "Is this dead dude in hell, and/or could you convince him you can give him a better afterlife if he's honest?"
Oh!
Mala was
Thanks,
going
Chad.
to
That's
let
a
on
good one.
pretty thick, like with regards to wanting to help the situation. Like, but we might. I think Mala will stop short of actually flat out lying to him. But
Do we want to do the questionnaire street? So
Well,
it's off the
over
shop.
here.
Somebody knows.
the problem is, I think, is it not the person who cast the spell that actually
It's mental
asks the
one.
question?
Yeah,
So
it's-
it's all going
it's
through
an
Ventrix
adventure in
anyway,
town.
which is a
Ah,
fucking
okay.
nightmare. But
Yeah, that's how it starts.
Well, so I have the
Yeah.
scroll so that you may do the spell yourself.
I'm afraid I am. I do not have the blessings from the eight to be able to actually provide this governance, because that's a third level spell.
You have to roll for it, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, normally the procedure is that you would be the one to converse, because, of course, I don't know the man very well, but I guess I could be some kind of medium to your...
Large.
Just well,
Twice.
you guys so much further into it. Alright.
I think we would prefer
I want-
that.
Yeah.
Let's wait for a reaction to the extra flavour.
I'm still in it.
Sometimes it doesn't give it. Sometimes you don't get it.
So if he casts it, we ask some questions.
Well, we
Let's
can
go.
ask, yeah.
Let's go for it.
Okay.
So I've got the three. Are we all right for me to
Yeah.
ad lib or just check?
No, no,
the
we
haven't
last
got
two?
there
Yeah,
yet.
they
You go. This is.
Well,
it is good to see you again, my vanquishing companions, and I'm sorry, I don't recall,
Howland Cragmere of House Cragmere.
that would make sense. I am, my name is Rexland Swordclaw of House Swordclaw,
Pleasure to
Knight Sergeant of the Order of the Broken Fang.
Oh, there's more.
Oh no, that is all the titles I have for now.
I see.
Give it time, perhaps.
Bearer of the sacred accent.
A fine display you put on last night, vanquishing our foe. The Order are most in your debt. I don't suppose I could get a word with Mr. Look at all.
oh, it may be beneficial if you two were maybe off to one side while we undertook our next activity. Mr. Look, would you mind?
That's fine.
Well, we can convene outside, Mr. Look, if you can't follow me.
Okay.
Head on outside. We'll get to you in a minute.
Can we not stay on this? I'm so interested.
We can stay on this if you'd like, if you're happy to.
I'm happy to watch.
Do it.
All right.
Do it. Run
So
this way.
while this next bit happens,
Fuck
takes
this
you
dead
outside.
guy. Couldn't care less about him. This is where the real action is. Come on, baby.
Yeah, baby.
Give it to us. Give us the
No
good
pressure,
stuff.
no pressure.
So, tell me, Mr. Look, how did you overcome this foe? I hear that you were the one to deliver the killing blow.
Which folk? Sorry.
The werewolf.
I
He wasn't here.
I
Sorry.
have to be completely honest with you. I've got this unusual condition where I just kind of black out for about 3 hours.
I was having an out-of-body experience.
So the whole thing is a little bit fuzzy. I'm told that I slayed something. I'm not entirely sure how. When I came to,
Or even what.
I was talking to a really small person. We were playing games. And that's all I remember, I'm afraid.
Well, whatever you did, I'm sure the Eight, in their wisdom, had aided you in this endeavour.
The who? Sorry, the who?
You remember the oath that you took, which is in light of the Eight, that you weren't sure if they existed. You said but you said to your friend that you met one, and you thought he was called Keith.
Keith.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ominac. Yes.
Do you know?
Not personally, no,
Okay.
not like you do, apparently.
Really nice guy.
Ha. Well, in light of this, and in light of the heroic display that you put on, I believe that you would be a magnificent fit in our order amongst our ranks. If you would have it, I would make you Lance of the Order of the Broken Fang.
Thank you. I've always wanted a title that I haven't made up myself. The last time we did something together, it involved a bath, essentially. Do we have to go through something similar?
Oh, no.
Can we go through something similar?
I mean, it is most irregular, but I don't see why we couldn't give you a bath. It's not
not written into the tenets that that's what we do, but yes, I suppose.
Do I get any clothing or insignia to?
Yes.
Thank you. Can I choose the clothing item I get?
Unfortunately, we have a bit of financial difficulties.
I'll pay for it.
Well, you may buy whatever items you can afford, Mr. Look, but what I can afford you is a pin badge.
Thank you.
It bears a symbol of the order.
How big is it?
Oh, it is but the size of your palm, sir.
Okay, will it fit on a hat?
Oh, of course, it will
Perfect.
fit on a hat.
Thank you. I will take that. Thank you.
And so he hands out to you this kind of weighty iron insignia. It's kind of just a round embossed badge with a symbol of a broken fang, broken in the middle, snapped such ways. Hands it over to you. It's made of a nice kind of copper.
Wonderful.
Very polished.
Does this new title give me any responsibilities?
When the Order deems it necessary, we may call on your aid, especially given our relatively few numbers that I'm aware of due to, again, budget cuts. You can talk more about... This is really something that concerns my father and the higher-ranking members of the Order, but I know that the Council are refusing to give more funding to... the Senate even are refusing to give funding to the Order, more so than we had in the past. So it is a pity that we cannot be available to assail more of these monstrous beings that plague our lands.
Yes, I see where you're coming from. I'd just like to know. So, as a brightly coloured tiefling, I go to some places where I'm not particularly well received. Are there any areas or organisations that I won't be well received now that I'm a Lance of the Broken Foot? Dentists?
No, I believe there is a dental plan involved.
For the Order.
For the Order, yes, of course. You get free dental.
Okay.
Of course.
Necessary.
It makes sense.
I'm speaking as a dragonborn, yeah.
I, as you can see, have to visit a few times myself, given my various layers of
And
teeth.
because of the name of the Order, of course.
Of course, yes. We fight those with broken... we wish to break the fangs. The fangs of the monsters.
Okay.
Yes. And so, places that you would be welcome would be throughout Burekrin. We have established a presence, particularly in Delvator. That is where the headquarters of our base of operations is, in Burekrin. Outside of Burekrin, I cannot say, for we were formed and are purely based within this region. I believe the Rachiri would not be particularly pleased to see you. But then, of course, they're not particularly pleased to see any members of Burekrin itself. That is afraid all I can give you at this time.
Okay, thank you. That is more than enough. Do I need to bring my own towel?
To the bath?
Yes.
As I said, this isn't part of the Order, but I'm sure wherever we go that there is a bath that they will provide you with toweling.
Okay, thank you.
Shall we, to the inn? I believe they have baths there.
You seem quite keen to leave this conversation.
I'm merely gesturing towards the inn where there are, in fact, baths.
That's fine, yes.
Okay, well...
You said the quiet parts loud again, Fleeting.
Shall we cut to a different scene?
Shall we end this here?
So you head on towards the Trickle Inn. Meanwhile, inside.
So, Nightly Order, multi-level marketing scheme.
So Ventrix, along with Brian from before, Grichun, very chuckling as he does so, very happy to see you. Along with the Dragonborn in the burlap hooded robes, they bring forth the body and lay it across the altar after having cleared it, of course. Lays it in front, and Ventrix brings forward the scroll and mutters the incantation. Pauses before he finishes the incantation and goes, "Are you ready to do this?"
Yes, please.
Finishes the incantation. So, what was your first question?
Who gave you the wine that you consumed?
My dearly departed friend. Unfortunately, a bad thing has befallen you.
Oh God.
Could you,
This is gonna take ages.
could you tell us who provided the wine that you
Recently consumed.
What?
It was a night. A night. Very good. Second question.
The night.
A night.
Generic method.
What was on the parchment that was embedded in your wall with a knife?
And in the roundabout way, Ventrix communicates that question.
Thank you.
I'm only doing it for the first one to get the flavour. Okay. What was the question? Sorry.
What was on the parchment embedded in the wall with the knife?
It was a receipt.
For the
Who purchased your oxen cart?
It was a customer.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to do.
This guy's worked in customer service.
It's GDPR. You can't give out that kind of information.
Yeah.
So,
I'm going to ask.
Data protection spells prevent me.
I don't know what to ask.
Okay, did the knight have any insignia on his person?
Can we ask what the insignia was if
what was the insignia the knight had on their
Can we
person?
not ask what they look like?
I'm going to go, if we find the order, we will track down the person.
Okay, I'm gonna get Ventrix to make a persuasion check.
Okay.
Ooh, 18 on the dice. There we go.
It was not one I know of. It was a symbol, a tooth.
We can't ask.
Does that sound familiar to Howland in any way?
I think so.
Make a history check.
Yeah.
Make a history check.
No, I'm just saying, like, kind of, like, Mallow will probably look at.
Hastily brings up the
We
Excel
go out.
spreadsheet with all the houses
Oh,
on.
night has
That is a 19.
19.
Okay,
Yep,
bro.
definitely bringing up this Excel spreadsheet. So, thinking about this, House Bron, you're kind of going through them in your
It's like the House
head.
of Cell E4.
Spoilers. No.
Spoilers,
Look at the
spoilers everywhere.
Don't look at the spoilers.
Turn your camera recorded.
Look at the spoilers.
It's not one of House Bron that you can remember. You remember that House Gorshot has that of a bow and arrow, but none of the others have tooths. House Nifford has a crocodile, though, as its symbol.
Just relay.
Those are the ones of House Bron that you can remember. This is you're all just cycling
One
through
more
these
question.
in your brain.
I don't know this one, but here are all the other houses I do know.
None of them have teeth, as far as you can remember. Aside, well, not teeth on their own. They have animals, but none specifically of a tooth.
He's a courier. That note was basically go deliver this
Yeah.
and pick up.
One option. What race was the knight?
I was thinking, how tied to the night are we? Do we want another question about Lady Grenforth?
I'd say go for the Grenforths.
Because I was just going to ask, what did those that bought the cart and ox look like?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's a good shout.
What
And if
did
he says customers,
yeah, what did those that look like?
There's
what
no
did-
way around.
yeah.
Yeah, that
What
was
did-
the whole
that's
point of the
the
thing.
nature
before.
of
Humans.
Yeah.
What did the people that bought your oxen cart look like?
They were adventurers from out of town, not from Bureaucrat.
Wait, did we do this?
I was going to say, I draw my sword.
The call was coming from inside the house.
Human. They were human.
Nope, haven't got any of them. Those
Public
weirdos.
guard garbs.
They're still wearing the guard stuff.
That's the 5 questions.
Sorry, your call cannot. The number you have called has hung up.
Died.
How do you like replace a corpse back on that?
How can I
Otherwise you're
go?
just going to hear the beep forever.
Oh yeah, was this just the corpse talking?
No, that was, yeah, but I mean, it was. I believe I'm going to say that with this, how
Is
it
it a
works
ghost?
is rather than you see its mouth moving, you can hear it, but it's not actually moving.
I shouldn't have like a ghost appeared.
It's more of a telepathic
Preparing how
telepathic
amazed I am
communication.
by the spell.
The big hole in its skull just opens and closes.
I was just preparing how amazed Seth was by the spell. Like, if a whole ghost appears, like, that's cool. Then I thought that's impressive.
Let's just be glad it didn't get channeled through Shatner.
Right.
Glad. I think you'll find
I hope that was of aid to your inquiries.
That was helpful.
Well, it happened, that's for sure.
Cool. So
May it provide you with some comfort in these dark days.
The insignia I saw, that it was just not of House Brom. Is that right?
What's
Or
it?
the insignia that they mentioned.
Not one of the crowflies that you can remember.
Oh, it's just not one of the crowflies.
Not that you
right.
can remember, no.
Okay.
the woman that we saw earlier in the council chambers, we've got the letter that says take this and this to that sort of thing. Should we take it to her and see if we can compare the handwriting to any of the other councilmen's? Because the person that they wanted to deliver it to was a councilman, wasn't it? Or someone
Lord
else?
Belvedere.
Belvedere. Lord, yes, a lord.
A lord, yes.
Yeah. So
A noble.
hopefully another lord did it, and if we can compare the handwriting, maybe we know who sent their knight to give it to the courier.
The emblem was a fang of some kind.
Broken tooth.
No,
It was a-
just
It was just a
he
tooth.
said
Just
it.
a tooth.
just-
Just
oh,
that
tooth.
he said just a tooth.
Oh, right.
But the broken tooth was obviously
Yeah.
broken
Yeah.
fang.
Oh, yeah.
Pre-conversation.
I'm the anti-werewolf team are the Broken Fang, and then there's someone making werewolves, and they've got a fang.
Dentists.
And we just let Fleeting go with them.
Oh,
My buddy!
No, I mean I think they're like opposite parties, like
Yeah.
Alright.
Is
Yeah.
there...
Jedi Sith.
Yeah, the symbol of the fuck you.
Yeah.
Symbol of the fuck you Broken Fang crew.
Is
Symbol of the...
the tiefling that has been accompanying us, is he around?
He's
still?
he's with you. Yeah.
Can we go and ask him about any potential tooth insignia? What he's aware of?
It is not something that I would know of. Unfortunately, I would say instinctively it's from the crowflies, but obviously there is the Order of the Broken Fang, but I do not know of any tooth
Excuse me?
order or tooth...
Broken Fang.
The Order of the Broken Fang, yes, you... The dragonborn that was in here that knew you was of that order.
The one that left with Mr. Look.
Yes,
Oh, Mr. Look!
well, no.
Oh, goodness.
Well, he had a broken fang. It is not the same as a tooth, surely.
It's a different thing, and they're anti-werewolves, and I think
This one,
this tooth fang thing is pro-werewolves.
It would be very strange if the broken fang was behind a werewolf.
They make a werewolf to kill a werewolf.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good way of staying in business.
That was good. Yeah, that was exactly where I was.
But and remember on the note it said to give the name Fang at the inn. That seems
I do not remember that.
like very on the nose.
That is on the note. Yes.
Should we go ask the guy if he's got any enemies that would give him werewolf stuff?
Go ask.
Doesn't that-
Lord Belvedere?
Yeah, let's go talk to him.
Excuse me, friend. Lord Belvedere, ring any bells?
I'm afraid that
Yeah.
is a lord of somewhere beyond Rundar.
All roads
Can I-
lead to Rundar.
I don't know. We're still in the temple. Is that
Yep,
correct?
that's right.
I don't know how easy it would be to, but can I maybe send a message to Lord Gant and to Lord Belvedere, or at least the manor, saying that there has been some corrupted wine brought into the city?
It would be easier to go up to Lord Gant and tell
Right.
him, but you could arrange with him to send a note.
Yeah.
You could do that.
Should we just go back to that woman and tell her what we found in our investigation?
I must
Like
insist,
that.
unless there is other lines of inquiry that you would wish to go on, I think we have more than enough evidence to bring to the councillor.
Yeah, let's go back to her.
Very well.
Plus, I have guard duties to be getting on with anyway. Not that I don't enjoy accompanying such colourful personalities.
Yeah, we'll
Why, thank you.
Yeah,
You're quite well.
We'll head back to the
I
council.
flash my cape.
What colour?
I'm going through all the colours because he said we're colourful.
Oh.
There's just like a sort of like that weird material that's like
Cape of many colours.
yeah.
He says, I'm afraid mine pales in comparison, my friend. And he starts billowing behind him.
Mine can pale too. Make it white.
I love the cape is like our way of like a dog wagging its tail. It's like, I'm happy today. I've got a colourful cape. If he ever comes out like black cape's like, oh shit, he's had a bad day.
By the way,
Spider-Man 3.
by the way, when Brucon went to bed, he made a point of taking the tiny cape off his topknot.
Oh yeah!
And then put it next to his bed, and then when he got back up in the morning, he was also equally careful to replace it.
Brilliant, lovely. So as you go outside, you notice the fleeting's not there, and nor is Rexland Swordclaw.
We left him alone for 5 minutes.
We are worried about this development.
No.
For fleeting or for Mr. Swordclaw?
Oh, well, that's a good point.
I think I would be willing to go with interested in this development.
Oh God! Can we try and figure out where he is? Walk in on him getting a
Yes.
from a dragon ball.
Let's make this absolutely happen.
But since we're here at the council place, let's find them
Let's
first.
get rid of that. Let's do that first.
So you're going to go to the council first. Okay, great. So you head across the way, because it's quite close anyway,
Yeah.
to the council chambers. Head on in, and Asim just leads you back to the east wing, over to Councillor Potter. Knocks on the door. Enter, opens the door, lets you all in, and Councillor Potter is there with Lord Gant. And he said, I see you've returned. So, what news do you bring?
Oh well.
How goes the investigation?
After a thorough inspection of Mr. Fringe's quarters, we were able to find this flask of wine. This appears to be tainted. It appears to have something in it that may, we believe, has caused the transmutation. I put it down on the table. So.
I wanted to keep that.
Gant curiously kind of looks over at it, takes a sniff of it.
My lord, I wouldn't recommend it.
Well,
Brucon leans over. I wouldn't either. It's shocking.
well, I'll take your word for it, but obviously if I were to try it, I can't. Obviously get my shield of Bronn to try it first to make sure his lord wasn't poisoned, you know.
I don't think you understand just how terrible this drink is.
I mean, I honestly, like the crowflies, we pride ourselves on our
Terrible drinks.
gastronomy, and we are abundant in our harvest and our culturing of food and drink and so on. Burequin, I'm sorry, is mostly swill by comparison.
I agree.
Can I make a... So Brucon in a past life has sampled all kinds of high quality stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Can I do a history check to verify the claim here?
Of course you
Just
can,
a flashback to Brugon with a jumper with his arms draped around him, just in a California vineyard.
Yeah, it was, so
Imagine that with more frat boys.
yeah.
Exactly.
Frat boy is definitely...
Oh!
Of course!
Natural 20.
Do I roll the natural 20
The
when
fates.
trying to do anything remotely useful? Do I fuck? I roll it when trying to dunk on someone as they attempt to dunk on the local cuisine. Yeah, so that's
I would argue that is
23.
I believe inspiration. I'm trying to
No,
kiss
22.
someone.
Sorry.
Alright.
This is
Now,
the
you-
classic ask Italians to judge other cultures' food fairly.
Yeah.
No,
Yes.
Italian food
Now-
is always the best.
Now you are aware that you've sampled many delicacies throughout Burequin and many not so delicate vintages. You know that being a human and dwarven culture, mostly in Burequin, that they know how to make ale and they make darn good ale. But the Crowflies does, for more sophisticated drinks, the Crowflies really is the main producer in the Manylands region. They're well known for it, particularly you'd say like Grenforth to the west. Bronn, not so much. You haven't heard of anything coming from there.
Yes,
Yes.
another one off camera.
That's right,
yes.
Drake Lazarus,
All
another
of
one
them are
off
off
camera.
camera.
But hang on, if it helps, this is literally the least relevant dice roll I'm ever going to make. Like, that was literally a dice roll to confirm that the guy bragging about his wine was accurately bragging about his wine.
I would say it was a natural 20 for flavour, quite literally.
Way!
There we go. But yes, Yeah, so you know that they are quite snobby, the crowflies, about their food produce. It's not without reason. They are well known, but you know Burrican does good stuff. So he is being harsh, and you know that because you've sampled many good establishments. Plus, the Rumbleguts themselves were fine brewers.
Our Bisto wine is the talk of the country.
so back on point.
Just you love drinking Bovril.
Into werewolves, and they hired him to send it to someone.
Oh yes, we have this
The
as
point.
well. I have the note, the parchment.
She takes the parchment and reads it.
18 years.
Lord Gant, this note says that this wine was meant to be delivered to the kitchen of Lord Belvedere, Rackville Manor. And the jovial expression, because you know that he's quite a cheeky chap, your Lord Gant.
Yes.
A bit of a charmer, but also quite severe when he has to be. And he goes very serious
check.
for a second.
I want to insight check him.
All right.
That was a 20.
What do you need to know? From an insight
16.
check?
I want to see if it's a look of guilt.
Doesn't look guilty, no. He looks concerned, in a serious. He looked very serious, and I see. This complicates matters slightly.
I wrote that like an hour ago.
And Councillor just kind of looks back at the rest of you and sees that you're all wondering exactly what they're talking about right now, and so she elaborates. So I and Lord Gant have been invited to a banquet and ball at Rackfell Manor. It takes place in not 3 days' time. If what you're saying is true, then it would appear that somebody is wanting to spike the wine. And potentially with such influential figures there, this means that were it to spread, these various lords and ladies, councillors, governors, what have you, would then be likened to spread the disease further. This will not do. I would rather not be in that situation. Now, I wasn't invited directly. Governor Henley, of course, was invited, but due to his duties at the Senate, he is within Rundar for the majority of the year, and so I would go in his stead. I've never met Lord Belvedere, nor does he know my identity. As I said, he'll be expecting Governor Henley, so perhaps if one of you were to go in my stead, disguised as myself, not as under the name of Councillor Tarquin Potter, perhaps
You're
I am a lady. Yeah. Thank you for
Sorry,
thank you for noticing.
That was a hell of an insight check.
And
her cascading
what race is
ginger locks. She's human.
She's
a lady.
She just kind of tussles her hair self-consciously and just starts playing with it like questioning my
So we
femininity.
dress up Laney.
Dude, -5 parenting points.
this place is someone that's trying to be poisoned.
Plus 5. That's all.
-5. Yeah.
Right, I'll note that down.
I have arranged. I've arranged carriage and transport. My Lord Gant was also going to be attending the event, and I still will be. Somebody's got to keep an eye on these adventuring types you're going to be taking with you. Plus, I can handle myself in a fight, as Howland here already knows.
Ah, you know the right end of the stick, sir.
So you want us?
It's a blade normally, Howland, but
You want us to go
Trying
to
to
this
keep
event
it on the tongue.
that someone's trying to spike the wine with? You want us to go to this event?
yes, if the wine has indeed been spiked, then the people need to be warned. I'm sure. Well, I hope Lord Belvedere himself doesn't know of this already, and if he doesn't, he should be warned.
And this is in 3 days' time.
Yes. The horse and carriage will take you there, and we are due to leave tonight, as it will take that amount of time to get there. Obviously, stopping overnight on the way at the couple of inns en route.
But since it's
Where are we going?
Is this south of Rundar?
It is. It's not south of Rundar. It's east of Rundar. It's more it's north of Delvator,
Oh shit.
in the hills.
Oh, that's the wrong direction.
right. Oh my god.
Is it?
If we're walking,
I thought we were going to cast.
Are we going to this place?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Right.
We would stop at Oraglor at the inn there. Unfortunately, a rather run down settlement, but it is the most convenient stop en route. Then we would stop just outside of Hero's Landing before we continue on and finish.
Will we be able to leave tomorrow evening and still make it?
I'm afraid to know we would not get there in time.
There is an additional piece of information that we were able to procure from the body. The person that provided this wine to the courier, now deceased, was a knight and bore the insignia of a tooth symbol. Does that ring any bells? Have any particular tooth-based enemies?
History check.
Tooth decay!
Nothing springs to mind. Obviously the Order of the Broken Fang, but I can't think of any. I mean, if you're looking for insignia, the Crowflies, my Lord Bron would know.
I say a plaque on both their houses.
Hey-o!
Hey.
Lord, is Lord Bron there?
Yes.
Lord Bron, does this tooth insignia ring any bells?
There are plenty of houses that have animals with fangs. Some with dragons, some with.
I mentioned the crocodile.
The crocodile, yes, of course.
Yes,
House Nifford, yes. One of our bannermen, and a very faithful one at that. Not one specifically that's just a tooth, unless it's a newly formed house of perhaps Rookwood or Grenforth. Otherwise, I can tell you categorically that House Bron does not possess a bannerman of that insignia.
How likely is it to be a new house? How frequent occurrence is that?
Well,
It just feels somewhat odd that Lady Grenfell has gone missing, and now somebody attempts to poison not only yourself but some other noble people. It feels.
What's this meeting for?
Yes.
This meeting is it's a coming together of influential people throughout Burekrin and beyond, looking to see if we can pool our resources for a better tomorrow for Burekrin and its allies.
Invasion and the Crowflies.
So, are there lots of people? Are there lots of people from the Crowflies going?
As far as I know, I'm the only one that is attending this one.
Okay.
House Bron deserves to be.
Indeed we do. Indeed we do. House Rookwood wouldn't concern itself with Burekrin. There is the odd chance that Grenforth would appear at such an event, being that Grenforth's our bosom companions with most of Burekrin.
Cool. Your lady's been moved from main quest to
Side
not
quest.
quest.
Yeah.
Do we know about your.
Should we just give up? I mean, she's dead, right?
She's dead.
She's
Give
dead.
up now.
Okay.
But
She's dead.
you might be about to
She's
find
gone.
out.
Dead now.
But I'm hoping that we're going to explore this next week.
Yeah.
But I'm very much ready and open to the idea of throwing Brucon's.
So
the-
if sorry, yes.
So I was going to say, with the wine, if it was poisoned using just like I don't know, venom or something like that, or like a natural component, it wouldn't give off any kind of magic. But if it'd been brewed using something out of like necromancy or something like that, could we detect that magic off the
Well,
wine?
Brucon was fairly sure he could taste blood in it, so there's a decent chance that what they've done.
But do we know if it
It's
was
just-
magically done?
We have a human.
I was
magic
detecting.
Oh, you were,
in the
yeah.
place.
Yeah, he has it on
Just
tap,
the
which
boots.
is which is not annoying at all. So it's great. It's a really good. It's really useful.
So the balance of probability is that what they did was just get some blood of a werewolf
Yeah.
in the wine.
Right,
Yeah.
cool.
Somebody's something in the water.
Sophisticated. This crew.
Yeah.
Right.
Does
So
it
if
need to be a living werewolf? Should we burn
Living
his
werewolf.
body?
Living werewolves bleed.
No,
But,
the
I mean,
corpse of the werewolf.
if
Should we burn that body?
Yeah.
We can't make more
So no
werewolves.
one's going to drain it for potions.
That's a very good.
It's just chucked in the town well.
Yeah, we
Not another one!
we accidentally poison everyone.
What's that? What's that, lassie? There's a werewolf in the well.
I'm
Just
s-
in Fleeting's bath.
I'm sure Priest Ventrix will be able to inter the body or cremate it if that's what you wish.
Yeah.
So I will.
Burn it all.
Right. So here is the plan. you will go to the party in my stead. One of you will go under the guise of Councillor Potter of Hilberg. The rest of you may be his retinue servants, bodyguards, what have you. I'm afraid I don't have any guards to spare to take with me. With you. Sorry, I'm not going, of course. Decide amongst yourselves, but we are due to leave before nightfall.
What time of day is it?
Why are we doing this?
So it's about, you've got most of the day ahead. It's about midday.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, no, sorry,
What do we do?
about 2 p.m.
We're nice people, but we've got other stuff to do.
We'll
Get that
talk
later.
about that next week.
Let's discuss that.
And with that, we shall leave it there for today. Let's continue that and your planning ahead for this upcoming banquet, which we shall pick up on next week. So as I said at the beginning, halfway through the stream, our next competition is now live. If you want to enter and be in with a chance of winning our lovely, devilishly beautiful dice set and so on, contact us on our social media. All you got to do is I'll put up a post probably tomorrow, I think.
I undid it.
If you aren't already, follow us at slice&d6. Like the post, retweet it if you're on Twitter, and share it if you're on Facebook. I'll be back on Friday to unpack what happened in this session in another campaign diary, and you all, I hope, will be back next week. That's Monday, 6 p.m. for session 20. Big number to find out what happens there.
It's got to be done, doesn't it?
Anyway, thank you all,
0.
and stay safe.
Bye.